We are live on radio. Right now, we've got my man Lions Den, who's from the Far East, online with me. How you say something to a lot of the people out there, Lions Den?
What's going on, everybody? Lions Den is in the building from the Far East. We got a lot to talk about today, Info.
Yeah, we do have a lot to talk about today. I want to get into a little bit of housekeeping here. Let me just right now acknowledge everybody out there in speaker.com, Archer, iTunes, radio, and we got everybody out there in the Google Plus world, Google Play world that'll be listening. We had a little bit of a technical problem. I was trying to go live. I'm going to podcast this. Had a little bit of technical problem, but we're trying to get it together. So I want to welcome everybody that is here right now who is listening to us. Let me acknowledge everybody. We have folks in YouTube who have been supportive of us. We've got, can you name off everybody in the chat room? Brother Lions Den.
Yeah, we got the True War family in the building. We got M. Mitch in the building. We got Rockweiler Morris in the building. We got Jalen T. Podcast in the building. And we got Donald Thrilling Stories in the building.
Fantastic. I hope other people come in as we go along here. Usually I would be at work right now, but today was an opportunity I had today. I got a chance to get the day off, and it was an opportunity for us to come on here, Lions Den. Sorry to keep, well, as the True Royal Queen says, don't use the term sorry. I just want to say we didn't want to keep everybody waiting. We were having some technical problems that I was trying to work through. Seems like all this morning, because we were firing this up to be on the radio program that we do. Right now we had to podcast it. So this is going to be, it is going to be on speaker.com and all the other platforms that we're on. Brother, I think we're on Spotify as well. And so we're going to get this together, folks. Thank you for waiting for us. And as you can see on the title, we're going to talk a little bit about Morgan Freeman. We're going to get into Harvey Weinstein. We're going to talk about the Milwaukee police and how they handled Sterling Brown, young brother Sterling Brown. They mistreated him. And we've been talking about this. This has been a theme for a lot of us about what's going on in this society as it relates to black men, black women. And we are in a race war. We are in a situation where we are in a prison system. It goes beyond just the fact that you can look. It goes beyond just the fact that you've got corporations that have invested in these police departments. You definitely have to know who's investing in the police departments. That's very important. But keep in mind, there are companies around today that made their money off of the slave trade. So they've been making money off of what's happening to black folks since the very beginning, from the time they robbed us, brought us over across seas, through the hidden passages, the middle passages, and black folks died between, no telling how many millions of black folks died between those middle passages. Okay, they often talk about the Holocaust, the Jewish Holocaust, but no one wants to talk about a Holocaust as it relates to black people. We had a horrific Holocaust. And the difference is that our Holocaust was not caught on video, but we had the most horrific Holocaust that this world ever seen. And nobody really wants to talk about that. This is why I believe, Lions Den, we have the problems that we're having today with the way we're being treated. You've got the situation with hanging going on, lynching going on in this country, modern day style. It's happening. And it's just kind of crazy, brother. It's enough to make you angry. And that's why we're here today, folks, to get into talking about truth. Truth, power, truth, power. Wait a minute. We're speaking truth to power, truth. Myself, information, and lions. Welcome to truth, power. So I want to thank everybody that's with us. That's really our introductory song, but we're going to talk about song and truth serum is that we're going to give you today. So Lions Den, How you feeling, brother, overall? It's been a lot going on.
Well, yeah, a lot going on. We had a lot of stories to talk about today. Oh my goodness.
So we got the Morgan Freeman situation. It seems like there's some sort of pattern, or there is there is a pattern in which you have seems like every black prominent male in this society, little by little, the Beckys, the individuals, the Beckys out there, white folks are coming out of the woodworks and saying that this black man did this to us. That black man did that to us, right? And we know that Morgan Freeman has a production company, and I was doing my research. Do you know a lot of these women that were accusing him of these behaviors, they created their own little committee of victims while they were still working for this man. Now, common sense would tell you if someone is harassing you, you decide, you report it when it happens, and you say, I can't work for this person anymore. Why would you continue to work for a man that was harassing you in his production company, create a group of women to strategize to bring the man down? Now, I'm not going to apologize for any of his behavior that's not appropriate now, okay? Because this story is still developing. There's rumors that he's apologizing for some of his behavior, but whether you are a fan of Morgan Freeman or whether he's guilty of these behaviors or not, what is one thing that is certainly a reality is that for whatever reason, it seems like every black prominent man is being targeted. Now, we're just hearing today, as we're going to get into that story, that Harvey Weinstein has turned himself in. But he's just one white guy who's been putting his hands on women and harassing people, okay? Where are all the other white men, Kevin Spacey? What about little weird Woody Allen? This man actually was sleeping or actually had a relationship with his adopted daughter, okay? Adopted child. And you got on the all over social media that they're saying that Morgan Freeman was having a relationship with his stepdaughter, okay? They're gonna jump all over that from the past. But Woody Allen is still walking around, if I'm not mistaken, alive today. He was one of the original of these white men who molest and sleep with their own damn kids and then marry them, okay? So Harvey Weinstein, for the longest, it's been known in Hollywood that he was groping men. You saw with Big Terry Crews, he came out and said, hey, this man groped me, okay? Harvey Weinstein has been doing this for a long time. Now, I saw pictures of Jay-Z hanging out with Harvey Weinstein because he was doing business with him, you know, motion picture business or movie deals or picture deals, production type deals. And he's, you know, hanging out with this guy. And I'm saying to myself, wow, a lot of these black folks are hanging out with these creepy individuals in Hollywood. And it makes me wonder how many of them know what's going on and they've been quiet, because as quiet as it's kept, they said that Matt Damon and a few other of these white boys in Hollywood said that they've been knowing that Harvey Weinstein likes to touch people. But the question is, nobody has pressed charges against him. He hasn't done any time for what he did in the past. Now he's getting, now they had him turn himself in. But what about the rest of the white boys in Hollywood? Let's say Kevin Spencer, okay? He's another little freak, okay? Kevin Spencer, from what I understand, he's been touching young people, okay? There was a young man who said that when I was a teenager that he was touching up on me, okay? When we heard these reports that Hollywood is kind of freaky, okay? And you hear about these wild orgies that they have in Hollywood. I think it was Cat Williams one time when he was doing a comedy routine, he was talking about that he saw some stuff that made him say, uh-oh, I can't go that far into Hollywood, okay? You got to sell your soul, do a blood oath to these folks. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Let me go into a beautiful, let me see here, an audio. Everybody, you'll be hearing this on the audio. We are doing a different format this time around. I will be able to bring people onto the panel, but you'll come through the audio, because we're broadcasting radio. So you'll come on through the audio onto the panel on the Google Hangout. So I'll be able to send an invite, but you'll come onto the panel through the invite. So those of you who have email that I can bring in, I will do that if possible. I will send an invite and then folks can come on in. Now I think I might be able to send it through the chat room as well. So let me see something real quick here. I might be able to still do a few things, folks. So I thank everybody that's here with us too, that's supporting what we're doing. Let me fix my camera a little bit. I'll leave it right where it is for right now. And I know everybody can kind of see me, and I hope you can. And I hope that we're coming through somewhat clear. You just never know with this stuff. Like, so let me play the first of these videos. Okay, this is the situation with Morgan Freeman, folks, and I'm sure some of you out there listening and speaker.com out there, and those of you that are listening in YouTube, and thank you for being with us, have probably heard a little bit of this already, but we're going to play it for the sake of the purpose of the show.
A CNN investigation has uncovered a pattern of alleged inappropriate behavior by legendary actor Morgan Freeman, both on set and at his production company, Revelations Entertainment. That's what his production company is called. Joining me now, CNN's Chloe Malas and Ann Fung. They broke the story. Chloe, tell me what you guys learned.
Good morning, Carol. So after a months-long investigation, 16 people agreed to share their stories with CNN. Several of them said that Freeman made constant comments about their bodies and clothing choices. 8 said that they were victims of harassment or inappropriate behavior. 2 of those 8 said that they were actually subjected to unwanted touching by Freeman. Now, something very telling is that only 2 of the people, Carol, that Ann and I spoke with were willing to use their names for fear of retribution and speaking out against someone as powerful as Morgan Freeman. Now, I want to share some of those stories that we were told, starting with one woman who was a production assistant on the movie Going in Style. She said that while filming in 2015, Freeman subjected her to unwanted touching of her lower back and comments about her figure on a near daily basis. In one incident, she says that Freeman kept trying to lift her skirt and asking if she was wearing underwear. She says that this incident took place allegedly in front of his co-star Alan Arkin, who told him to stop. He could not be reached for comment. CNN has also reached out to Morgan Freeman for comment multiple times, but we have not heard back.
And you guys have learned this was not just on movie sets. It was supposedly happening at Freeman's production company too, right?
That's right, Carol. That's what's so alarming about what's been alleged in our report. Much of it was happening out in the open, on movie sets, in front of actors and crew members. Some of it was even happening when the cameras were rolling. 3 individuals who attended a birthday party thrown for Morgan Freeman at his production company claimed that staffers were asked to stand in a circle, and Freeman allegedly walked up to the women, looked them up and down, stood within an inch of their face, and then moved on to the next woman. A source who was there said there was, quote, definitely sexual undertones to the incident. Another source claims he witnessed Freeman massage the shoulder of a young intern who appeared visibly uncomfortable by the touching. Another female employee said that he walked up to her on set and asked her, quote, how do you feel about sexual harassment? When she got flustered by the question, Freeman then turned to other people on the set and said, see guys, this is how you do it. This source told us she was stunned by how he was speaking to her.
So, and it gets worse because Chloe, not only are, I guess, entertainment reporters are accusing Freeman too?
Yes, so Carol, one of the women that we spoke to was a woman named Tyra Martin. She's a producer at WGN in Chicago. She says that over the course of a decade, she's interviewed Freeman multiple times and that he always made sexually charged comments. But there was one time that she felt truly crossed a line. That was when he asked her not to pull down her skirt as she stood up to leave the interview. Now, it's unclear if that incident was ever caught on tape, but we do, Carol, have an example of some of his behavior with her from another interview. Now, there is music underneath this clip. Don't pay attention to that. It was not added to by CNN, but here it is.
Hi, how are you?
I'm better now.
Thanks. I don't have any magic tricks. I kind of feel like I showed up for dinner without anything.
I wouldn't worry about that. You got magic written all over you, child.
Thank you. Good medicine for a single girl.
I'm saying it too.
Are you?
Yes.
Are you enjoying bachelor?
I'm enjoying bachelor life immensely. Because I get to look at you and drool. Don't have to respond to it. Right?
Indeed.
Carol, the impetus for this investigation was actually my own experience with Morgan Freeman at a junket last year for the movie Going in Style. Right when I walked into the room, he began making sexually suggestive comments to me. Now, as an entertainment reporter for over a decade, it was unlike anything I truly have ever experienced. One of those comments was caught on tape. In this comment that's on tape, he says to me, "Boy, do I wish I was there," while looking me up and down. I was 6 months pregnant at the time, and his co-stars Alan Arkin and Michael Caine were seated on either side of him and actually...
I'm going to stop there. This is the power of audio. I can stop it. I can play it back. I can move it around. True Royal Queen, she stated, these bitches are setting them up for a lynching. Yes, yes, yes. I've seen celebrities, particularly white celebrities, sort of flirt with interviewers just the way that Morgan Freeman, you could say he did in that particular clip. They're using that to say, well, he's harassing women. And this is the deal. And I learned this listening to True Royal Queen's program just the other day when she had Bitter Truth on there. And it was a very good points, which was white women have been the front. They have been the front runners. They have been the ones that have been pushing the white supremacy up front for the white man. Okay, you've seen them you see them when you have Ku Klux Klan rallies. They're the first ones up there. Not most. Black men were hung like fruit on trees, as Billie Holiday sung of in the South and throughout this country, over white women. Now, when you look at something like the Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, there was a young black male who was I guess he was a shoe shine boy, shoe shine man. I don't want to use that word boy. I don't like that word. That's the word that they used for us to define us. So he was running to use the restroom. The restroom for black folks to use, given the segregation of the time, was way across yonder where he had to run to. So he ran down the street, ran into a building, and got onto an elevator where he was going to the black only bathroom. And then, as the story goes, as I've learned, he brushed against a white woman going onto the elevator. She made a claim that she was raped by this young black male and went back to her Yahoo community, and they decided to get retribution for what they thought was a rape of a white woman. Well, come to find out, most of the white folks that lived in this town, they lived in squalor. They were very jealous of the black folks that were there because the black folks that were there were well off. They had their own businesses, their own shops, most of the things that we had before we listened to Dr. Martin Luther King and the rest of the civil rights misleadership movement that took us from a segregated state in which we had our own businesses. And not all black folks agreed with Dr. King. It took us into civil rights to be able to send our kids to school with white folks and eat dinner with them and eat lunch with them, people who don't even like us. It makes no sense. But anyway, I go on. So the young man, they wanted to kill the young man. They wanted to destroy. They used it as an excuse to destroy the town because they were angry how they were not, living well, but black folks were living well at that time in that particular town. And, this has never been recorded in history. this is the first time domestically that a community was bombed from the sky. Because what happened is you had white men who fought in wars who had planes. And they began to put what you would call a multi-cocktail bombs on top of this community in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where you had the Black Wall Street. And so the community was bombed, it was destroyed by white people. And God knows that the black folks that lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma to this very damn day deserve a reparation for what white folks have done to them, what white folks continue to do to us. But nothing that they have done to us, we have gotten a proper reparations. The Japanese have gotten a reparations. Even the Jewish community has gotten a reparation, and their slaughter or their Holocaust didn't even really happen in this country. Although Wall Street and the IBM computer company financed it, folks. They financed it. That's why when they had the numbers on their skin, that was brought to you by IBM Computers, who produced, before they became a computer company, they were the ones that put those numbers. They could. So America has had its hands in many things, but our Holocaust has never been recognized. It has never been, we've never been rewarded money. Now, a lot of you are saying, hey, we want our reparations. Well, do you know right now that they can't even get reparations in committee to discuss about it? They won't even have a meeting to even discuss reparations for black people. That's how dire straits the situation is. I believe Elijah McCummings, a congressman, has been trying to get this pushed ahead. He can't even get it into a committee process. So these white folks don't want to do anything for us. And so Morgan Freeman, I know I've given a long about way of this, saying this. Morgan Freeman is a victim in this circumstance because there are tons of white men in Hollywood have been doing these sort of behaviors, and they're not being brought up in scrutiny. And in cases when they are brought up in scrutiny, they're not being brought to trial. I'm still waiting on Kevin Spacey. Where is the trial for him? Okay, I'm still waiting for, you got Rob Lowe, who actually got caught on video having sex with a young lady, and he's been able to rebound and reboot his career. He's on television and movies again. Okay, when a black man gets himself in trouble, you're finished in show business, as they say. You're completely finished. So Morgan Freeman, this might be it for him. We may never see him in another movie. There won't be any Riding Miss Daisy Part 2, baby, because after they get finished with Morgan Freeman, he's finished. You saw what they've done to Bill Cosby. They railroaded him with a lot of these white women that were drug addicts, a lot of these white women that were having consensual sex with him. A lot of these folks out here were doing a lot of things, and now all of a sudden they're looking for a big payday. They want to destroy black males at any cost. So Morgan Freeman is not going to be any different. You know, whether you agree with something, maybe whether he did some things that were inappropriate or not. The difference is that he will be made an example of. If you are a black man, you will always be made an example of in these circumstances. Let me move on with the...
And looked at him when he made this comment to me. Again, it was caught on tape. And take a note of Freeman's eyes in this clip.
One time I congratulated a woman on being pregnant and she wasn't. And so I've never done it again. For 50 years I've never done it.
You've learned your lesson.
I learned my lesson.
Boy, do I wish I was there.
This movie is...
Okay, this is where they're saying that he made a sexual harassing statement. You've got the other actor, the white boy, who made some statement and said he apologized about whatever he might have said. Then you have Morgan Freeman, who I remember when he was on Electric Company. For those of you who are Generation Xers, those of you that are baby boomers, you remember the Electric Company. That's how one of the platforms or one of the programs that Morgan Freeman got his start. I remember when I was a kid, they had the Spider-Man character on Electric Company, and Morgan Freeman had the big old afro. Remember, he had the afro. And remember, Morgan Freeman played in a movie where he was a pimp. That was the movie that really put him on top. It's a trip how we have to play these demonstrous roles for our careers to blow up. Let's see. Denzel Washington had to play a corrupt cop to get a damn Oscar. Okay. Samuel Jackson had to play a crack addict. him and Halle Berry in Jungle Fever. Okay, you know, and they had to be all cracked out, and then that's what blew his career up, playing in Crack Addict. Okay, unbelievable. And then Morgan Freeman played a pimp at one point in time, Mr. Electric Company himself. That's right. I don't know how many of y'all in the chat room remember Electric Company. And Lions Den, do me a favor, and if you can, give everybody a shout out in the chat room.
Yes, I'm getting a lot of people a shout out, really. You got Sun the Seeds, you got Faith Green, you got August Dreams, you got the True Royal Family. Hello, my queen. You got Donna Thrilling Stories, you got Craig J, you got Jack Johnston. You also have Stop the BS Now. You got Khalid Hassan, Nikki, and Altera Jude Lioness. Welcome aboard, everybody.
All right. Everybody must get their respect. And everybody in the chat room, if you're new to the chat room, I want you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you are not new, I want to say thank you for your support again. Subscribe to each other. We got there's a few people that I definitely want to give some respect to. Like I said, True Royal Queen, Oyapo. Check out their channels. You got Be Fabulous, Fabulous You. If she's in the chat room, definitely subscribe to her channel. Nicole Ali. I don't know if she's in the channel or not. She might not be off of her employment. And this weekend or tomorrow sometime, we're going to be doing a live stream on Lowcast with Lowcast. Me, myself, and Nicole Ali. I've got to get in contact with the sister. She's dying on might, as JJ would say, with his coon self. So let me play some more of this audio. So the reason why I stopped that, because you heard Morgan Freeman say right there, specifically, I wish I was there. And they didn't play it. It doesn't seem like they played it in full context. But you're going to see one of the white girls that was on CNN talk about how she was pregnant and that it was inappropriate what he was saying. And I don't really know what, if he said, I wish I was there. What the hell does that mean? Does that mean that he wished he was in between her legs? Does that wish he was down there going down on her? Now, you know, this is an adult show, everybody, okay? This is adult radio and adult YouTubing, okay? Is he going down on her? You know, what is he trying to, what is she saying? What did he mean by that? Because this is what she says, because she had a personal problem with Morgan Freeman. Once again, it's a white woman. They always tend to lash out with this MeToo movement on black males. Okay, and this goes all the way back to the movie Birth of a Nation, the original Birth of a Nation, which depicted black men as savaging after white women after we came out of slavery into Reconstruction. And then in the movie, the silent picture that it was, you had the depiction of black men taking over the White House, eating fried chicken, watermelon, feet and toes on table, being unruly, because that's the image that they want to project of us. Okay. And then it took the Ku Klux Klan in this country to ride for the freedom of white women. They had put the white woman on the pedestal saying, do you not touch this white woman. And it was the Ku Klux Klan that had to save the dignity of the white woman. And it was, okay, just like guns. One of the reasons why you have this right to bear arms is mainly because white men were concerned that black men, when they were going to savage after their way of life, forage over their land, take their land, steal, rummage. That's another reason. That's another way that this whole right to having guns, when they're saying that they want their right to bear arms, they're not saying it because they're just going to go duck hunting. They're saying it because they want to be prepared for the race war, to be able to harm you and me, black people, to prepare themselves for this race war that the white supremacists have been talking about for quite some time, prior to any movie that Jason Black can come out with talking about race war. So let me play this audio again, and you'll hear what the point that I'm making, what she says.
As you see, that was quick right there, but there were other comments made to me by Freeman before and after this one, but they were not caught on tape. We reached out to Alan Arkin and Michael Caine, his co-stars, who were seated next to him, and they could not, well, Alan Arkin could not be reached for comment, and Michael Caine declined to comment.
Carol, these are just a few of the allegations that are in our story. You can read the full investigation on CNN.com.
I absolutely will. Great reporting, Chloe Malassa, and fun. Thank you so much.
So I'm going to stop that right there and go over to the next. So everybody in the chat room, let's read some of the things that people are saying in the chat room, Lions Den. If you can make out anything that people are saying, basically bless us with what folks are saying, Lions Den.
Okay, Yapo was saying that, quote, these Beckys are using us for target practice so that they can adjust their aim to start taking down their men, because what they actually want us to have their men's place. Faith Green says that she's new and subscribed, and I'm viewing and enjoy the fellowship of my beauty and cousin like-minded kings and queens. Salute. Jack Johnson said, I can't stand that white girl. She's lying and trying to drag the black girls in. And see, Sonia C said, a Yapo, a white man can keep her happy, feeding some black I guess satisfy her. The True Roy family said, I've been telling the family for the last 3 years Becky was going to be a big problem. And Yapo said, I wonder how many years they have to practice to get that bottom lip to tremble just right, or does it come naturally through genetics?
Anything else in the chat room that you can read up, brother? I had to mic the camera that I'm using so folks can hear the program better. I forgot to put the mic on there. And if everybody is hearing very well, let us know. We want to make sure that we got everybody able to hear the audio. That's very important.
Faye Green said she hear the sound very good.
Okay, so, I just added an extra mic. Got all these gadgets and equipment in here. Fantastic. So this is the deal, Lions Den. I want to get your opinion. I've been running my mouth. And everybody out there listening to us on speaker.com, Archer, iTunes, thank you for being with us wherever you are in the world. We really appreciate it. I want to give a shout out to my man Big L as well out there. So Lions Den, give it to me, brother. What is your opinion? What do you think is going on?
Well, if a couple of things. One, when the MeToo movement has been started, it's a black woman basically started it. Her name is Tarana Burke. She's the founder of the MeToo movement, and what the white feminists has done is they hijack her movement to their benefits. But as far as Morgan Freeman is concerned, here's the thing that concerns, like you said, Info, they're targeting black actors and black celebrities. Now, remember, they already went after and took down Bill Cosby. They're now going after R. Kelly. They're trying to take down Chris Brown and now Morgan Freeman. And according to these allegations, they claim that 16 women accused the actor of sexual harassment. Mm-hmm. And as you hear that one of the women on the panel that you was talking about, she was one of them, claiming that he harassed her while she was pregnant and stuff like that. But I agree with you one thing, Info, that you got white actors that's never been caught. You got white actors like Kevin Spacey, like you said, Woody Allen, Charlie Sheen, Roman Polanski. The list goes on and on and on. And so you have these actors. And believe me, if it wasn't for Harvey Weinstein turned himself in today, yeah. But there's a lot of white actors that are doing far more work than Harvey Weinstein is doing. So, Info, your thoughts?
Now, my thoughts. I think we got somebody's on board with us. Let's see. Let me look it up. Hey, how you doing? And True Royal family, thank you. So this is what's happening, folks. Everybody in the chat room will be able to hear you. It's just that you're going to be on a podcast that's going to be going to all these other platforms that I use, folks. So, but everybody's going to be able to, I got the YouTube going, so everyone's going to hear your audio. You're just not going to see your avatar because I'm not using the Google Hangout the traditional way today. So I just want to let everyone know, True Royal family, KD84, your voices are going to be heard loud and clear, and it's going to be heard loud and clear on the other platforms that I'm using. So I'm really happy that you came aboard, and you're going to bless us with your words today. So, out of respect, true royal queen, bless us with your words.
Can y'all hear me loud and clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're coming through. The audio is beautiful. I got everything mic'd up right here at my desk. So go right ahead, sister.
Yeah, I thought it would be good to have a female perspective too as well.
Yes.
And I've been banging on this for the last 3 years. I lost that channel, so y'all don't. I was still green to YouTube, so y'all don't have. I'm not privy to give y'all those videos.
Okay.
Now, if anybody know or been following me, know I go spiritual too, because I do listen to the universe, and I've been saying for the last 3 years that the white woman was going to be a problem. Now, we got to go to the suffrage movement. The white woman was pissed off because the black man was able to vote first. All right?
That's true. That's 100% right.
And she's been pissed off. She's been pissed off since then. And during the election, I kept saying to people repeatedly, and they wasn't getting me. But I got one of those videos. I do got one of them.
You got one.
That I'm going to send you, and you can listen to it at your own leisure. And I kept saying, how is the white woman going to react on this election? I said, because I said she's going to react strongly. Now, we all had our laughs and stuff after election because Becky was crying. Okay, Hillary Clinton thought she was a shoo-in on 2 different occasions. Because, Obama came out of nowhere. So she just figured it was going to be a cakewalk. And now they have this attitude and they got some money behind them now and this vitriol. And they figure we're going to put fear in the black man first.
Yes.
But, and one sister did say it, I forgot who it was because I read so much, is that it's only so many black men that you can take down. And that's no disrespect to our kings. Y'all know I have the utmost respect for y'all. It ain't that many black men with money.
You're absolutely right.
So ultimately, in the end, the white woman and the white man are going to battle. And even though, who's doing this to me? No, not now.
What's happening?
I think we lost True Royal family.
Something's going on. Why did she get lost like that? Let me put another link in the chat room. What's going on?
I don't know. I think as soon as we hear her talk, she's gone.
That's too weird. That's too weird.
It is weird. It is.
Yeah, that's some suspicious stuff going on.
But info, do you know the I'm not to clarify with you, but here's the thing what's similar about the situation. Both, Bill Cosby and Morgan Freeman, they're both in their early 80s. You notice that? They're both in their early 80s.
Yes.
And they try to take both of them down.
I put another, let me hang on. Right now, brother, I'm concerned about what happened to True Royal family. Okay? She was just on our chat room. We can go on with the rest of the program, but right now I'm a little concerned because she was just on and she didn't sound good when she got pulled out of our chat. And I don't know what just took place. So I'm very concerned. Is she still in the chat room? I put 2 links in the chat room.
Okay, I'm trying to see if she's in the chat room. I'm afraid I don't see her even in the chat room either. I don't see her in the chat room.
Something's going. Well, we know that we're targeted, brother. We're in a race war, and we're targeted, and people are targeting a program. They're targeting her because she's 1 minute she's in the chat room speaking upon something that's very important for everyone to hear. Next minute she's been pulled right out. So what's going on?
I hear.
Let me see what's going on here. Are you back in? I'm concerned.
I just heard her.
All right, brother.
That's K84.
Okay, let me say a few things. Let's get this right under control here. We've got Clarence Ray that's on with us.
I'm back.
Okay.
Can you hear me? I'm back.
Yeah, you're back. Clarence Ray, we're talking about a few issues. Hello, brother. Stay right there. Stay where you are. True Royal family, you scared the hell out of me.
No, what happened was, it wasn't no fun hocus pocus stuff. Somebody was giving me a hangout call.
Oh, okay.
It shut me down.
Oh, okay. I was like,
so I don't know where I stopped at. What was the last thing
you
that I
basically
said?
was breaking down Every since there's been this, you're saying there's this competition because the white woman didn't get the vote, black man got the vote before her.
She did not get, because they was figuring Hillary Clinton was going to be it was just a cakewalk for her. The first two times, they feel some kind of way.
Yes.
They wanted Hillary in there. And I kept saying to people, the white woman was going to be a problem.
Yes.
And then look how she reacted after the election. It was a bunch of tears.
Exactly.
So these mad. They've been mad since the suffrage movement.
Exactly.
All right?
Yes.
And trust and believe, as we speak, there are a group of white men somewhere on this planet having some powwows, because there is nothing you can do to satisfy this white bitch. It's nothing you can do.
Okay.
Nothing.
Yes.
So ultimately, in the end, the white man and the black man, the white man and the white woman, they gonna go for each other's throat. They got problems. She has no more value. She's barren. He's tired of her ass.
Okay.
She's vicious.
Okay.
So I've been talking about this for the last 3 years, and sometimes I do make a joke about it. As I speak, they gonna get that bitch hell. The number one woman in jail as we speak, thanks to Lisa Cabrera, because she reported it more than once, is the white woman. Instantly, my empathic abilities hit me, and I said, you know what? When that bitch get locked up, he's so fucking happy she locked up. He take them kids, drop them off to her mama, and he go across town, and he don't even get her out of jail. The number one woman, I'm telling you, they're getting ready to come down on white women hard.
Let me just tell you something, True Royal Queen. You're absolutely right, because I know for a fact that the statistics, women being incarcerated has been increasing steadily, and the number one individuals that are being incarcerated, and it's increasing, are white women. That is true. That is emphatically true. And so you're not making hocus pocus here. You're making truth. Let me, brother, and I love what you said, Brother Clarence Ray.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're talking about a variety of issues. We were getting a little bit into Morgan Freeman and the way looks like he's going to be railroaded, just like Cosby. They're going after.
I did a video about that.
You did a video about that? Okay, brother. So, very quickly, brother, what are your thoughts? Because it looks like black men and black women, but black men in particular, they're going after these black men that are prominent, trying to take them down under what I would call double standards that white men have the complexion for the protection from. So what are your thoughts, brother?
You talking to me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. My thoughts I would say when you start getting when a black man go to getting too powerful, that's really what it's all about. Because Mr. Marvin Freeman, if I'm this man has left a powerful legacy, and their whole aim is to bring it there, because he has movies and stuff that he did about prison and stuff, and he was making an example. And I did a video about this the other day of how he did a good illustration of showing how the black men is being incarcerated, and how they sick dog can't. When he broke out of prison, he was in the movie. He broke out of prison, and they sent them bloodhounds after him, and just showing, he was using the illustration of showing how they would do the black man. They would treat the black man like he, using the dogs as some kind of way to treat man like he's some kind of like animal or whatever. You know what I mean? Okay, all right. They really just jealous of this man's legacy, and they doing everything he can to try to break him down. But they started with Michael Jackson, then Bill Cosby, and now they working on him. And so I'm saying all of that to say this here. All of that ain't nothing but a lie that they trying to put out on Mr. Marvin Freeman. That's all. That's the way I put it.
Well, my point of view is that even if he is flirting with women, okay, because we don't know what people do behind their bedroom, their doors closed. But my argument is that there's a double standard. that white men do the same thing, engage in similar behaviors, and all hellfire doesn't come down on them. But for whatever reason now, black men are being the main targets, and I say the main targets of white women. And this Me Too movement is about white women trying to execute their power. And I think you said, True Royal Queen, in one of your programs, that they want to be in the same level as the white man. They want that same power. They want that same power. They don't want to be behind. They don't want to be next to them. They want the same power all the way, which is why Hillary Clinton thought that she was entitled to become president of this country and lost 2 times. So let's get some other folks to give some opinions. KD84, you came in earlier as well, brother. What are your opinions?
I'm just gonna paint this in as short picture as possible. This whole Me Too movement is about one thing: making sure that feminism is on top of the food chain. That's exactly what this is all about. So I'm not really surprised, you know, with the so-called blackout, this whole blackout push of Hollywood and entertainment. That's basically what it is. But what I'm really more upset about is you got black feminists like Ava DuVernay and Shonda Rhimes joining the cave Becky into this ridiculous movement. They really think they're going to get a payday out of this. But back to Morgan Freeman and Bill Cosby, what they're really after, I'm just going to be honest about it, you know, they're just not after their legacies. They really want to black out Hollywood so that Cave Beast could take over Hollywood 100% again. Yes. I mean, the only reason that they have this power because they got the banks and they got the control of pretty much everything. And they pretty much want all that back, including Hollywood. Yes. So I'm keeping my eye on this feminism thing as it grows. But and back to what the True Royal Queen said, it's going to backfire on them, and it's going to backfire hard.
I totally agree with you, brother. It's going to backfire, but along the way, we're going to get a few of our people that are going to be made examples of. But that's been the history of this country. You see what's happening in the NFL, and not to get too far off the beaten path. They're coming up with their 15-yard penalty rule because they want to make an example of these black athletes, and it's a plantation anyway. It's a good old plantation like Candyland. Brother Oyapo, give us some blessing with what you've got to say, brother. I want to hear from you.
I'm here. Peace, brother, and everybody on the panel, everybody in the chat room. I have a little bit different of a spin on this. Months and months ago, and this actually dovetails with what True Royal Queen was saying. Is months and months ago, I did a share that's called Feminism and the Never-Ending Scandals. And what I said in that was talking about how what white women are doing. See, what white women are doing with black men is they're sharpening their teeth on and their claws on black men in preparation for their man. And see, white men, there's only one thing that white men have that their women don't have, and that is the power to oppress everybody. Exactly. And right now, white women have the white man's boot on their neck along with ours. And they don't, of course, feminists don't give a damn about black women. They don't give a damn about black people. If the white man moves his foot off just enough so his boot is still on everybody's neck but hers, and she can get up, then she's gonna be fine. But moreover, after they get the boot off their neck, they're gonna go after what they have always been after and thought they were gonna get with Hillary Clinton, and that is to be in the place of their men. And as being in the place of their men, like I said before, that will give them the ability to put their boot on everybody else's neck and have everybody under that. That's their end game. They're just using us black men to sharpen their claws on. Guaranteed. Figuring out.
But Ayapo, to respond to that, that just goes to show and prove that the black man is still the biggest threat in this entire world.
That is true, and that's always been true. Because again, going back to what I said, it's all about them being able to have their boot on everybody's neck. And the trick that's happening to these white men that they don't understand is that they're allowing these feminists to do this stuff, thinking that it's not going to boomerang back on them. But
and it's going to isolate them. It's going to isolate them because ain't nobody going to fuck with them. They're not going to fuck with them. You ain't going to look at them. You ain't going to say nothing to them. You're going to say they're going to stay away from them. So they painting themselves in a corner.
That is true.
Yeah.
That's true. So you have two psychotic ideologies bumping heads. I'm talking about the white man and the white woman fighting each other.
Okay.
You got those two ideologies coming up against each other and bumping heads, and both of them are psychotic. Both of them are off.
Wow. Lions, go ahead, brother.
Watch the fun.
Lions Den, can you go ahead and read a couple of comments in the chat room? Hear what people are saying.
Yeah. Oh yes. Faith Green just said in the chat room, I told my fiance this morning they are going to Batman crazy, trying to keep our kings deceived, all the while forcing them onto the throne. They're desperately trying to keep. Miss Ray Beard 08 says, beware black men and black women. White folk are viciously animals seeking out whom they may desire. Gwen B says, I want black men to stop dating and flirt with them all together. Trey X Boxing says, peace to Information Man show in the chat. King Wage says, Information Man, my brother, you're on fire.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Jack Johnson says, them hoes ain't loyal.
Okay, go on, read some more, brother. I love to hear the text messages in there, or the chats in there.
Cap says, Information Man, peace, brother.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me give him some respect where the respect is earned. Hey, Cap, what's up, brother? I want to give you some respect, brother. It's good to see you. If you want to come on in and give bless us with a few words, brother, hit the link if it's still in there. If it's not in there, I'll put another link in there if you want to say a few words. Go ahead. Go ahead, Lance. Go ahead.
Not to interrupt, but I just want to make a short point.
Yeah, go
now,
ahead.
Funny thing with this Me Too feminism, they may have their little victories by now, but trust and believe the Most High will reverse all of this, all these victories that these feminists are having. The Most High is already reversing this hand, and these feminists will ultimately lose.
Okay.
But you know what?
Let me say.
Okay.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Go ahead,
you was first. You go ahead, my king.
Now, here's what I was going to say. Guess who started the Me Too movement? The founder, Tarana Burke, a black woman. What happened to that movement now? Guess who infiltrating it? Of course, the white feminists. The white feminists infiltrated the movement in the beginning and made it for them. So it's really, they discredit this black woman who founded it in the first place and made it towards the white feminists. Right. And so now they're going to make it think that it was them that created it and not find out who really created the Me Too movement.
You're right.
That's so true.
You're right, Lions Den. Go ahead, Queen True Royal Family.
No, what I was saying is, and I really mean this, and it takes me a while to do it too as well. Remember this: we are the chosen ones, and we got to stop speaking in terms like, well, what's gonna happen in the near future?
You're right.
No, as I speak, Becky gonna get hell. As I speak, Billy gonna get hell too. So the thing, I'm piggybacking off of KD. KD, she doing our work. She doing our work.
Right.
She helping us. We're not speaking nothing else in existence anymore. We need to keep putting out into the universe what's gonna happen with their ass. Stop talking about the 6,000 years is almost over. The shit been over.
That's right.
It's over. It's time for them to feel. I have put that in the universe because I'm chosen. And I need y'all to continue to do that too. I'm so serious about this because we were granted something being chosen. And we ain't been using the very thing that we was granted. Our God-given power, our Yah-given power. We so afraid to use the very thing that the Creator gave us. And we have demonstrated around the globe who we are.
Yes, that's true.
We done showed everybody how polite and how respectful we are, given the tyranny that they continue to perpetuate on us. Fuck all of that. Put that energy out. So I try to not speak with what's going to happen in the near future. The shit is happening as I speak. That bitch is barren.
That's all that I was pointing out. It's happening now.
You're right. You're right.
I do want to say that those of us brothers who are a little bit older, like myself, and in our generation, we need to start talking to some of these younger brothers and showing and pointing out to them that, you know, look what's happening to Morgan. Look what happened to Cosby. Look what's happening to him. Look what's happening to him, and so on. And start giving them some object lessons and make these teachable moments and say, you know what, this is why you leave Becky alone, because that mess will boomerang back on your ass.
That's true.
You leave him alone because you got the proof in front of you on a daily basis of what comes from messing with them. You know, because everybody, you know, nobody thinks it happened to them, but we're like, we can show you case after case after case. Maybe we should actually have a way of like having in our mind always a bunch of cases that show exactly what the results of messing with these Beckys are. And then when we talk to these younger brothers, say, this is the result. It never turns out well.
And back to Yapo's point, who has the bigger gender war? It's Cave Beast. It's the Cave Beast against the Cave Becky, but what they're trying to do is use this so-called black gender war to bring us down.
That's true.
That's true.
And then look at the other thing. What do the enemy have to lose in this war? What does the enemy has to maintain in this war? All of this infrastructure, all of these little trinkets and all of these little things that they value. See, we have to I have been using this analogy so many times, and I will say it as quick as possible. We have already won the war. You just have to put your spiritual eyes on. The day that the white man took the black man and pushed him in the corner, and while the black man sitting up here observing our behaviors, the black woman too. And I had to put the black woman there because she was being used. She was being used, and she did what she had to do to survive. So the black man is observing the white man's behavior, the white woman's behavior, and he's not getting any trinkets or any things or any benefits from this shit. And while he's observing it, if that black man has his head on right, and I say from like 16 on up, if his head is on right, he will tell you about this system and he'll tell you how they get down. So the reason why you won the war already, and I'm gonna point it out to you real quick, because I say it often.
Okay.
I say it often. I want you to picture what I'm saying to you. They should have did the reverse. He should have fattened you up to the kill. And as we speak right now, they would be able to get more of y'all. But no, he kept you lean, he kept you sharp, and he kept you watching everything. So they got way more to lose than us because they greedy. You greed. And then they fear what they losing. So they have restless nights. Now they got to deal with Becky on top of that.
You're right. They sleeping with their enemy. They're sleeping with their own enemy.
And to make the Royal Queen's point, it was actually Lucifer that gave them the choice, and they took that choice and ran with it. Now they're getting all the payback.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
So true. But for a Yapo, what a Yapo is saying, and we should not dismiss this, what he is saying, it's going to take the kings to really get up in these youngsters' ears real good and keep it core, because ain't nobody putting nobody, and then that's something that I don't do with our own. I don't get upset because somebody done hooked up with a white person or all that kind of shit, as long as they done woke back up, because nothing surprises me what we do in this system because it's such a cesspool. But keep it core and mentor to these young brothers and these young sisters, because we got even sisters now giving up and running to this shit. It's in my family. You know, I'm keeping it real. My daughter ran the one. shit. And keeping it really core with them that, like Yapo saying, in the end, this is what you're gonna get. This is what you're gonna get. Because on top of that, like the sisters that be marrying these white boys, when he get tired of her, he drag her ass through the courts. I mean, and they relentless.
Well,
I didn't see it more than once.
Well, let me bring up a prominent individual, Holly Berry. She got married to the white dude that was the little model, and they went through some little divorce situation, and he dragged her through the courts. And then she went and got another white dude to go beat that white dude up.
Whoopi Goldberg too. It happened to her more than once. Whoopi Goldberg didn't learn shit.
Well, hell, she let Ted Danson sit up there and walk around in blackface like it was something funny. And when that happened, I was through with her from that get-go. You see, that me knew exactly where her mind was at, Queen.
Well, she had to pay off money to 2 white boys.
Now that's crazy.
That she had married. They learned shit.
Didn't learn no lesson that should have been learned. So that's crazy.
We got to fall in love with our people again. We got to fall in love with our blackness, and to see these white folks for what they are. You know, they're not our tribe. They're not like us. You know, we need to, like I said, fall back in love with our people.
And to make another short point with Yapo's point, we are the original human beings. We're the original man, and the original woman, thanks to her, bearing us all out in the nation and everything. This just goes to show you that, once you play with Lucifer, you're gonna end up taking the biggest L. And who's gonna take the biggest L overall? K-Feast.
Exactly. After I finished listening, because I wasn't there last night, I slept again. Listening to Keith Newsom will really wake your ass up. I did not know the depths and the levels. Well, I didn't know we have so many beasts around us.
Yeah. I would tell everybody in the chat room, I know that Keith will be coming on this upcoming Saturday. I would tell you all to go take your black fingers in your hands and use your devices, your cellular phones, your tablets, your PC computer, and go over and subscribe to Keith Newsom's YouTube channel. But folks, they're trying to shut him down at every cost. They try to shut him down on Facebook at every damn cost they can. I saw with my own eyes, myself and True Royal Queen. We saw the depths of where they'll go to try to shut us down. He also has a radio program that goes deep into Africa. So if the YouTube gets shut down or the Facebook gets shut down, get the app, okay? The Black Hot Fire Network, if I have that correct. Download that app. I believe it's on Google Play. And it's on your Android, your iTunes stores or whatever, your iPhone stores. Download it immediately. It will change your life. The brother gets into the science, the anthropology, the breakdown of your blood, everything. The man is on fire. He should have a billion people running through his chat room, in my opinion. So that's my commercial for Brother Keith Newsom.
What's happening with these white folks? They're over here and they watching us real close. They keeping an eye on us real close. And in the meantime, their women are rising up against them. They gunning down each other in schools. They bombing each other. They killing each other off with these opioids. I mean, they're literally wiping themselves out, trying to keep an eye on us.
Well, let me
don't have enough sense to turn their attention onto themselves.
Yeah, let me tell you guys. I'll just break it right here. I was working on a video that I haven't dropped yet. It has Francis Cressman Welsing in there talking about the whole issue around the ISIS paper and the white folks have been trying to maintain their genetic survival, that they are not going to be long for this planet. And there's an article that just came out. I think it was in Time. They said about 17 states right now in America, white folks are having a hard time reproducing. There's a little clip on the video where they're actually talking about the low birth rate of Caucasian or white people, and they're talking about the planet becoming more and more dark black. going into 2025, 2040, deep into the future, that they're not reproducing themselves. And it's hitting a few states, hitting them really hard. So when you hear a brother like Keith Newsom speak this way, a True Royal Family speak this way, or Yapo speak this way, or any of us, I'm telling you, it is a fact because their own scientists are talking about it. I saw it with my own eyes. I'm going to drop that video so you guys can enjoy that. I kind of clipped that video with a nice little clip of Frances Crowson Welsing because I thought it was very fitting to have her present what her analysis of everything that's going on, following into that clip, because you're absolutely right. When Keith Newsom speaks about they don't have long for this planet, the layman person would look at him and say, "This nigga's out of his mind. This nigga's crazy." No. He's not crazy.
We are in it. You know what? And I'm so glad that you mentioned Frances Crowson Welsing. She was one of the first, and I knew it was others. And how I pictured it was a globe that was full of white women, and the black man was crystal black.
Wow.
And one black man's sperm could annihilate the entire earth. So that's why they invest in your demise when they kill you, because those seeds that you have are so very valuable. And I have done videos about how valuable y'all seeds is. Even Lisa Cabrera said, I think she was reading in the Lost Books of the Bible, it was an abomination for a man to even drop his seed on the floor, on the ground.
Wow.
That's how precious you are. Damn.
Wow. Well,
be very selective who you get at C2.
You're absolutely right. Because let me take it another step from where you've gone. Remember when they would hang black men in the South? What was one of the things that the white supremacists they used to do? Cut off the royal family jewels. They would cut them off. And as a matter of fact, to show you how sick they are from a psychological point of view, they would actually hold on to the private areas of black men and like a rabbit's foot. You know how people have rabbit's foot for good luck? They were holding on to these things.
Damn.
Okay, so when Keith Newsom talks about the animal instinct inside those genes, damn it, isn't that what animals do? They bite you all up, they collect things. Hell, cats will kill mice and keep the mice to play around with it as a collection.
Oh Lord, don't I know?
So when you look at their behaviors towards us, it's that same animalistic behavior collecting us like we're like we're toys. Let me give a shout out to someone in the Facebook chat room. I've got my man, and Lions Den, you can appreciate that. We got Chris Basin checking us out, brother. Chris Basin, who used to be he was with WVON Radio in Chicago. And I think he's just been doing some radio for quite some time, brother. How you doing? I still got to get you on the program. So we're going to get Chris Basin on the program very soon, Lions Den, to discuss some issues, brother. He's a deep brother. And anyway, that's a side. Go ahead, brother.
Let me tell you what, bro. You know what? Even the earth is turned against you. You're getting quakes in one place. You got the volcanoes happening in Hawaii. You got a hurricane season coming up that they are already saying is going to be worse than last year's.
Okay.
And even the birds are trying to take them out. I seen that video this morning.
Oh yeah, the birds.
Even the birds trying to take them out.
They tired of them. They tired of them.
Shout out to the gangster birds. Shout out to the gangster birds that stole that bird.
They blocked that video too. They blocked that video worldwide, but still we had fun.
So we got gangster birds out here.
Huh?
But True Roy, I was gonna say.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead. Speak up.
That's fascinating. If they blocked that video?
Yeah, they blocked it worldwide.
Oh.
I don't care.
I got to see it. I was laughing.
Well, just to make another short point, as far as the case Becky being barren, even the toddler and infant industry took a hit because they stopped making products because of the case Becky being barren.
Yeah, Toys R Us is closed down. That's gone. And they're not making enough diapers. They're not making enough baby food and all of that type of stuff like that.
Yeah, even Gerber is taking a hit with this as well.
Wow.
Yeah, it's serious.
But, you know,
just like any ecosystem, you know, it's taking a hit. You know, that one thing happens, and it's a domino effect.
Okay.
Yeah. Excuse me.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that I would think with the True Royal family, you were saying about how black women have been mistreated by a white man. You're absolutely correct. I don't know if any of you heard about this story about a Playboy playmate. Her name is Stephanie Adams. She was 47. She married to a white man. Of course, they had a custody battle. And so the white man won his custody battle, and he wanted to take her son away from her. So what happened was, she's already a multi-millionaire as it is. So what happened was she committed suicide in New York City at her own condo, took her baby son with her, And it just blows my mind. And this is like, but you're absolutely right, True Royal family, that, white men is treating sisters like dirt, and it's like we just have to get our sisters back. We do. As black men have to get our sisters back.
I'm going to say this, and True Royal family, you can relate to what I'm saying, and everybody out there listening. We've got to stop sharing our genetics with them. Okay?
Yes.
Black men, come back home to your black women. Black women, come back home to your black man. I've encountered. Well, I told you a story before. I've encountered someone going out eating at an establishment, and it was a black woman, and she looked at me with eyes of guilt because she was with the caveman. Okay, so that's the bottom line. Stop sharing our genetics. Work together, and also have no tolerance for the nonsense that goes on in the social media, especially on in a black YouTube society where we're arguing with each other, talking about people's conditions and stuff. We got to cut that out. That is not productive. So, because we got bigger enemies, bigger issues to deal with than to be arguing and bickering with each other. Although I don't believe that every black person can be saved, I'm going to keep saying that. I don't think all of us can be saved. Some of us are going to perish to the wayside. I feel we should discriminate for the best of us. And those that don't fit that quota, they got to get the hell out of the way.
Keith, and excuse me, I'm thinking of Keith information. when Keith breaks it down scientifically, in the biology of the beast, it really turns you off even deeper.
Yes.
That you are literally committing bestiality.
Oh, yes.
And most black folks, the ones I have encountered, don't get down like that.
Yes, yes.
And really, when he really break down that biology, it's like, oh, man, damn. Like he was asking that sister the other night, how can you stand the smell?
Yeah. She had, I think she had, what was it, AB plus?
Yeah.
Genetics, and he kept saying that, damn, your family was raped big time.
Yeah, and she was making a joke out of it, but he was serious. See, people don't be taking Keith serious all the time.
No. Well, just to before I go on to the next part of our program this evening, let me just say what kind of drool he dropped last night. He talked about worms, how the worms get in your body from eating foods that have parasitics in it, such as fish, your porks. And he was saying how the worms get in your body, they get into your brain, they shut down the electromagnetics in your brain, which can cause you to get what? Alzheimer's, because these worms get in your brain, they get in your body. And he talked about how you can purify your system. All you got to do is get you a tablespoon or a spoon of sugar. Get yourself pure, and I say pure turpentine gum. Pure turpentine gum. Use distilled water. Do not use a bottled water or any kind of fluoride type water. You drink that water constantly. With the turpentine, you take a spoon of it. Has to be pure though. And then you take the sugar, which is sort of like bait. It causes the worms to go towards the sugar. And he said what will happen is you must stay in the house because you will be shitting out worms all day. And he said he experimented on himself and he definitely shitted out worms. And he says those worms block things in our body that will affect us in our health as we get older. And then we wondering why we got arthritis when Arthur ain't even there. Go ahead, True Royal Queen.
Oh, what I wanted to say is, and I'll do another video for y'all because I know how to do all this stuff.
Yes.
There is a tea that you can drink that I drink frequently called ISO tea.
Oh, I need that.
And the ISO-T kills the parasites in your system.
Oh God, I need that.
And it also takes those parasites out of your brain. And what it does is it takes the sludge up out of your upper intestines. And when I had my husband take it, and you don't gripe real bad and have cramps real bad and stuff like that. And when I did it for my husband, he was like, this stuff ain't gonna work. Then about the second time he went, he was like, oh, okay, I'm getting cleaned out. Mm-hmm. And we really need to do that. So I will do another live health video. Y'all will see my face when I do that. I will pull out all of my products so we can, if somebody is very serious about getting the parasites out of their system and stuff like that, we really need to do that.
Yeah, I need that. We need to all consider cleaning ourselves out. When he said
you
that,
can buy right on Amazon. I got all the links and everything, and I do have it on my channel, my main channel right now. Okay. And if anybody's trying to lose some weight or some belly fat, it'll come off of you quick. Because you're doing a detox.
Okay. Let me just say something real quick. This is very important. Those of you, if you're on Black Junction TV or you haven't, get your butts over there and sign up for Black Junction TV, because I really feel, and we all feel, that Black Junction TV is the way that we need to probably be looking at going, because we know that YouTube is messing with our channels. And just to let everybody know, in case something happens to my channel before I can make some more channels on here, I am already signed up with Black Junction TV, and I'm under the same name. So you can find me over there. If I disappear before I can create more channels on here, and you say, where the hell, what happened to him? Go over to the Black Junction TV. But I do plan to clone some more channels as soon as possible, because I think I'm going to be in dire need of doing so. Hell, they may even come for me on this damn video right now, with all you guys dropping this knowledge on us. So, True Warrior Queen, if you don't mind, I'm just going to play, because what I really want to get to is what happened to that young king in Milwaukee. So let me just play a little bit of the clip on this Harvey Weinstein character. And anything anybody has to add to it, we're going to go right ahead. And then with the goal of really pushing our butts to dealing with this issue around the young brother, the young king in Milwaukee. So let me play a little bit of this, if you guys can bear with me.
And we do have some breaking news for you. Moments ago, Harvey Weinstein, the disgraced movie mogul, turned himself in to New York City police. A source tells us that Weinstein will face charges for allegedly raping one woman and forcing another to perform a criminal sex act on him. One of the alleged victims spoke with the New Yorker's Ronan Farrow. Ronan recently won the Pulitzer Prize for his reporting on Weinstein, and he joins us now. Ronan, what is it like for you to watch this moment?
Well, I think for every woman who spoke in this story, it's an incredible and unexpected moment, Allison. When I began speaking to Lucia and other accusers of Harvey Weinstein, they barely imagined.
Right, Lucia is the woman who says that she was forced to perform a criminal sex act on Harvey Weinstein, and she was part of your original story.
Right, so many women spoke, obviously. Lucia Evans was actually the very first of the vignettes in that first New Yorker story. And look, she and all of those other sources grappled with an extraordinary decision in coming forward in the first place in the press. Lucia then grappled with another life-changing decision, because the day that article ran, members of the NYPD Cold Case Squad, which handles cases that are no longer live, reopened that case and began trying to contact her and saying, hey, if you don't talk to us too, potentially upending your life for years, putting yourself on the stand and in the crosshairs of a powerful guy in his legal team, he may walk.
This moment, to your point, would never have happened without your reporting and without the cooperation of these women. And these are women who thought that whatever happened to them was long buried. I mean, they had given up, will you correct me if I'm wrong, on any chance of justice. Had they? I mean, did they think that they stood any chance against this media mogul?
Not in a million years. And one of the hardest conversations that I had over and over again with these brave women was that in addition to the sacrifice they were making in telling this story, they didn't think they would ever be heard if they did take that leap. let alone to see actual accountability for someone who, of course, in this very jurisdiction, narrowly escaped accountability in 2015 after one woman did file criminal charges. Complaints. And the DA then declined to file charges as a result.
Okay, I'm going to stop that there. We all kind of know what type of pig this man is. It's kind of interesting that all this time has gone by and they're just now making him go before the courts. They're just now trying to, I guess, prosecute him. I don't know. What does everyone say on the panel? What are your opinions? Can you hear me? Go ahead.
I'll speak.
Go ahead.
Somebody wasn't saying.
Yeah, I think what happened is some people.
The way that I took it, to be honest with you, it's a bunch of bullshit.
Yes.
It's a smoke screen because they dragging the black man. And I've been keeping up. With this because they had put a sting on him. They had put a what do you call that? A wire on one of the girls that he had violated, and I don't know if you heard that tape. Is horrible. It's horrible. They decided not to do anything.
Yes.
This is nothing no more than a dog and pony show. Even the lawyer's attitude was like, what about the casting couch? There's nothing new about it. And it's nothing more than a smoke screen. They're gonna drop in a couple of little white boys to try to make it look good. But ultimately in the end, the face of it will be white because there's only so many black men that you can drag. There's only so many. They just want to put the black man in his place.
I'm going to put in the chat room that you're 100% right. You're 100% right. KD84, if you could unmute yourself. And Brother Rob, I'm going to come to you. At Lions Den, I'm going to come to you. And Brother Rob, who's in the chat room, on the panel, I'm sorry. I'm going to come to you, brother. So, KD, for the purpose right now, unmute yourself, brother, and bless us with some words on this issue. What's on your mind about this? Where are you at?
Well, when it comes to this whole rape case again, it's just another continuation of, the feminist movement trying to gain some more fake power. But even through the Most High, it's going to get smacked down. It's going to get reversed. And as far as us being the target and everything, this just goes to show you that if black brothers can finally come together and put a stop to all this nonsense and finally leave Becky the hell alone, we can finally make some real noise. You know what I mean? And this is my message to all the brothers out there who's trying to mess with Becky, unlike that idiot Albert Haynesworth who didn't listen worth a damn. We got to leave Becky alone. All she wants is our seed. If you're gonna run around and mess up your seed, you're gonna have a tainted sack. And some of the black women out there, they will not come running back to you because you wouldn't listen to them. The only thing K Becky's want is power. We got to stop getting with them and giving them our power, which is I'm just gonna say it, our seed.
You're 100% right. Lions Den, brother, give us a few words, and then I want you to acknowledge some more people that have come into the chat too, brother.
Yeah, here's what I say about this Harvey Weinstein drama. I felt that, when on a news later, I don't know, none of you will know it, that this guy had a $1 million bail and he paid it no problem. And he has a little monitor in his ankle, which means he could travel anywhere and do anything, as long as he had his monitor on his ankle. And Bill Cosby wouldn't even do that. Wouldn't even have that chance. So, and then only thing the Harvey Weinstein had to give up was his passport. He got to give up his passport in court. That's the only thing. But other than that, he can travel, he can do whatever he want to do, as long as that he could check to his parole officer, making sure that everything's okay. But the fact of the matter is that it's like KD84 said, man, we got to leave these Beckys alone, plain and simple. We have to leave these Beckys alone, let the brothers know that all the Becky's going to do is play us and move on, got the seed, and that's it. And go back to the white man. That's it. We have to stick together, ladies and gentlemen. Brothers and sisters, we need you. And I know y'all need us. We definitely need to come back home to where we are, and that's black family, black love.
Hey, Lions Den, I know we got my man from Marlo's Corner in the chat room right now. What's up, Marlo's Corner? The brother, they do great. The brother does great boxing talk. They get into the issues around boxing. Very powerful show. So if you're into boxing, into sports, particularly boxing in particular, check out Marlo's Corner by all means. And let me stop this. So Lions Den, name a few people in the chat room that have probably come in a little bit after the.
Okay, we got Sister Winfield in the chat room. We got Jack Johnson in the chat room. We got Sonia Seas in the chat room. We got Khalid Hassan in the chat room. We got Israel Ark of Yah in the chat room. We got Melanated Nation in the chat room. Marlo Corner. We also have Nicole Ali. Nicole Ali's in the chat room.
Okay.
So
Nicole, I need you to come into the chat room. We need another black woman's perspective for what we're doing here. So come on in. If I put another, I'm going to put another link in the chat room. Plus, I got to talk to you anyway about tomorrow. So come on into the chat room. Let me put a link in there for you, sister. I welcome your presence. So there go another link. So Nicole Ali, sister, if you hear me, please come on in. Lions Den, thank you. Brother Rob, unmute yourself, brother, and bless us with some words.
Yes, sir. Good evening to everybody on the panel, and thank you for having me, brother.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, I just, I was just a little fired up before you had played that clip on Weinstein, the conversation that we was having, that you were having before, but I'll stick to the topic.
Oh, well, wait a minute, brother. No, I would like you to say whatever was on your mind related to that, brother, because you got something to say. We may need to hear what you got to say. Even though we're on a different part of the topic right now, bless us with what you really wanted to say about the other topic that we were on. I want to hear it. We want to hear it.
Absolutely. Well, to me, and this is my humble opinion, I feel like our number one solution is cultural identity. And to break cultural identity down, I would say that you just have to love to be African. We have to identify as African. I feel like that would be our rallying point, so to speak, to where we could put all our ideologies down, all the things that we've been taught down, and put all of that down and rally behind being African. That way we would be able to aggregate and kind of put all of our resources in the storehouse, so to speak, and then redistribute them to our own people equally. We have to be able to look at ourselves, depend on ourselves, and I've said this before, we have to be able to build vertical business models so that we can depend on ourselves to be able to supply food, water, and shelter. Me as a man, I want to be able to be a provider for my family. And the foundation obviously is family. I did a bill recently on my channel. I'm not trying to self-promote it all.
No, go right ahead. Tell everybody the name of your channel, and give your name of your channel, brother, and definitely subscribe, folks. Tell us what your channel is.
Yes, sir. Well, it's under my name, Bro Rob. And as you can see, I show my face. I'm a person that's straight up dealing. I'm not worried about what anybody else is doing. The FBI, the CIA, any other 3-letter words you want to come with. I'm not worried. You know what I'm saying? I'm a man. I stand on my 1-2. And so everything that I have to say, I can back it up factually and with resources. And the bill that I did recently was on Reconstruction. You know, the number one thing that Black folks did when they came out of Reconstruction? Do you know, brother, what they did when they came out of Reconstruction? The first thing they did?
Bless us with the knowledge, brother. Awaken.
Brother, they got married.
Mm-hmm.
They had wedding after wedding after wedding, day after day after day. It's heavily documented all in Mississippi, where my people from. Heavily documented all in Louisiana, Alabama, Arkansas. They call it Arkansas. It's all over the South. Well, why did they get married? They were trying to reconfigure their families.
Yes.
And if you look in the news clippings from 1865 until almost 1911, I want to say, our people consistently put ads in the paper with the little money that they had. Keep in mind, they dirt poor. They just came out of slavery, and the only money that they got, the only energy that they got, is all in trying to reconfigure their family. This is where the idea of a family reunion came from.
Okay.
You see?
Yes.
He's right. He's right.
And this is
the only reason why. The only reason why the white man even got the notion to marry that beast was because he was copying the black man. That's a known fact. The black man seen the value in his woman long ago. So you got to remember everything that they are doing. When you see them walking up and down the street with their hairs cut all nice and talking the way that they talking and doing what they doing, they copied us, but then they got that beast in them too as well. I said that to my husband today. I said, I want you to observe them. And I said, you got to remember, we taught them how to walk up and down these fucking streets. We taught them how to wash their ass and clean up. We couldn't even stand being around them. They were so filthy. But see, we lost sight. And see, we have to we don't have to dwindle on it forever, but I think it's a sense of shame too, that somewhere we lost our grip along the way, but we lost sight. That's why these beasts is walking up and down these streets, because of us. And then they try to talk with good diction and act like they so prim and proper and clean. They are the bottom of the barrel. But see, they flip it and make you think in a certain way, and it fucks up your psyche.
I want to add on to that, Queen. Right? Here's the thing, and people need to understand this. Propaganda is a weapon. He who controls the narrative, right, controls who's the hero and who's the villain. And so because we're not telling the story, well, it should be apparent to everybody that they have painted us as the villain. Out of slavery, they painted us as lazy. After we didn't want to work with them and start building our own businesses to where we can employ ourselves, what happened? The Red Summer of 1919. After we tried to reconfigure ourselves after that, then the stock market crashed in 1929. They rebuilt the country without us and instituted Jim Crow across the South and then across the North as well. This is what happened. That's just history. That's not perspective. That's literally what happened. And all you have to do is go back and look at it through your African eyes. You see, propaganda has blinded so many of us to where somebody like Harvey Weinstein, look, right? We all done heard them stories for years. For years.
That's true.
But yet everybody knew that man was doing that. What brung it about, though? When Donald Trump said, grab him by the pussy. That's what brung, and then that's when it started beefing up in the news. They had already brung that court case against Bill Cosby, right? And then the next thing you know, the floodgates came open when Harvey Weinstein got indicted, and then that's what gave legs to this movement.
Well, look.
You know what I mean? That's what gave legs to this movement.
We know.
Let me just one last final point. My fault. Go ahead, brother.
No, I'm going where you're going. Let me just say this. You said something about white women. This shows you that their movement is a false narrative to it, and this is the false narrative. If they really were about protecting women and women being raped and mishandled, then the first thing that they should have never done, and they did, is they voted for Donald Trump. Now, they say it's around 54%, but I agree with True Royal Queen. It's a lot higher than that. White women voted for him wholesale. They went along with their tribe. They went along with the white man because they want to share in that power. This is a power struggle. Who's going to have power? Who wants that power? Who's going to give it? And Donald Trump represents that power right now. And he's a man with money, but he speaks like he's from a trailer park. And he speaks to the low-hanging fruit that we got around this country, in the South in particular. And that most of you know that those of us who live in the blue states, so-called blue states. We are subsidizing these red states. The Arkansas, the Alabamas, we are. And so if this really was about women being mistreated by men, then the biggest defender of it right now is sitting right up in the White House, but yet white women still voted for him while at the same time picking black men off. So that shows you right there.
I want to give you a word information, man, that I just put in the comment box.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's called fake rage.
Yeah.
Also selective.
Selective, that's right. There you go. Thank you.
But brother, look at what Donald, again, propaganda is a weapon, right? Look at what Donald Trump do. This is what he do, and it's so simple. But these people fall for it every time. If he doing something, he claim that somebody else doing it. Do you see?
No. Let me correct you on that.
That's not a trick. That's not a trick.
That's not a trick. Thank you, Nicole Ali, sister. I love you. Look, let me just break it down. If you look at CNN every single day, MSNBC, CNN, all these so-called alphabet corporate news channels, every day they're on there telling you all the wretched shit about Donald Trump and his family. They're all telling you, but guess what? As much as they're telling you about Donald Trump, they're not doing anything. Guess what? He hasn't fooled anybody. They know what he was. Hell, Bloomberg came out during the campaign and told you that Donald Trump was a con man. These white folks know what Donald Trump is. If he fooled anybody, he fooled black folks that are cooning around. He fooled everybody else. They every day they talk about the wretched stuff that he does. But yet, check this out. I listened to Bernie Sanders talk on an interview, and they asked him straight up, "Are you ready to impeach Donald Trump?" I call him Donald Trump, folks. And he said, "Well, I'm his Yiddish that he speaks. I'm not ready to impeach him yet. Every time these white folks are asked to impeach him, they're not doing anything to go about that. Now, we know the Republicans control the Senate, the House, so that damn sure ain't going to happen no time soon. But these white folks know what he is, and they're going along with him because they've got that animalisticness in them the true royal family speaks of, and this is their nature. Everything that Trump does is their nature, and they reinforce his nature because they are that themselves. Okay? So when Spike Lee talks about, oh, this motherfucker in the White House, and he didn't have the right. No, he represents America. That's what America's all about, ratchet shit. So in reality, they know what's going on. They know what he is. They're letting him do what he wants to do. If Obama was in office right now, whether you liked Obama or not, black folks, he would be under impeachment right now. Okay, they know what he is. It ain't no secret. It's just that they're glad to have a white man back in power, executing their white supremacy.
Can I throw something in?
Go ahead, brother.
Number one, I'm not going to talk on this part too long, but number one, we actually want Trump to stay in there because Trump was to get impeached. Because if Trump was to get impeached, we would have Pence. And Pence is Trump with a brain.
Oh,
so
God.
we don't want that. We do not want that.
Oh, God.
So the next thing is, I just wanted to say something. We have to kind of move our focus, in my opinion, have to move our focus away from what all these white folks are doing and kind of turn this lens back on ourselves.
Yes.
Because our women and our children, you know, we got to keep in mind, we got black men out here talking about, oh, you don't want to have nothing to do with some woman that has children and so on and so forth. You got these women that say, oh, you don't want to have anything to do with a man that has prison record. The thing is, we have to realize that we all come from a common experience in this country as black people, and we exist within a system, and this system has done certain things to us, and we have to be willing to run each other a little bit of slack. No, not if somebody's abusive, you know, in an extreme, but in a more narrow sense. We have to start running each other as black men and black women a little bit of slack and understanding that, yes, we are responsible for what we do, but also we live and exist within a system that steered us a certain way. Yes. And that's what caused us to be the way that we are. And so when our black men need to stop calling other black men simps because we want to stand up for our black women. Black women who want to stand up for our black men, they've got to stop calling them like weak or doormats.
Yeah.
Because we have got to start loving each other again. And like I said, we got to start looking at each other in the context of coming from a common experience of blackness in this country that has caused all of us to be a certain way and to be in a certain condition.
Yes.
And then once we start healing that up, then we can get these women away from these Chucks. We can get our men away from these Beckys and start turning back toward each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Absolutely. And that was my piece.
No, I want to thank you for that, for what you said. Nicole Ali, my sister, drop us with your dime of knowledge, your dimes, your power.
My dime? Okay.
Your
that
energy.
A little bit. Okay, I can do that. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. No disrespect. Give us the power. Give us the power, sister. That's really what I
don't take disrespect.
That's really what I'm trying to say. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you for having me. I agree with True Royal and Brother Ayapo, of course, Weinstein. I disagreed a little bit with the other gentleman. I don't know his name.
I think it's Brother Rob. Okay.
Rob, yes. Okay. Because, we like to try to pretend that they don't know, that they're ignorant, that they don't know. They know what the hell they're doing, okay?
Right.
I have a video on my channel. I probably got to make it public again. It's about Donald Trump and his dad.
Yes.
Okay, I got another video on my channel about Hillary Clinton and Haiti. Both sides, two sides of the so-called, two sides of it, Republican versus Democrat. But I ain't never seen a bird fly with one wing. So they both work together. We know that.
Yes.
They ain't stupid. It goes from the top to the bottom. They train their children for war, and we don't. That's the issue. To me.
Well,
that's the problem.
Nicole, you're absolutely right. We spend too much time trying to teach our kids how to dribble a damn basketball and dance on the floor.
No, besides that, we teach our children how to be too goddamn nice.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're right. Go ahead, sister.
Give a damn about you.
That's right. That's right.
When you have children, just today, wasn't it in Indiana? I'm sorry for profanity, or I apologize for that, but it just gets me heated because in Indiana, didn't you have a school shooting today?
Oh yeah, we plan. We're gonna talk about that, sister. We're gonna talk about that too.
I'm not gonna go into it, too much. I'm just saying, at that age, these kids know what they're doing. There's a reason why they choose where they're gonna live, because they know this is where we need to train. First of all, it takes them back to what they know, which is the woods, the forest, the caves, right?
Yeah.
It puts them in that particular mindset, and I just feel like, in general, it's best for us. First of all, like I said in the chat room, we all ain't gonna make it.
Mm-hmm. No.
All of us ain't gonna make it, so get that out your head.
No, not all of us.
And they know in their society, those that are not on code are excommunicated or exterminated immediately. They don't play around with anybody. Now, that's the animalistic side of them, but when you're in war, everything goes. And you don't question anyone's strategy. When you're in war, they know they've been in war with us for a long time. I mean, and the fact that you still have people out here, first of all, denying that certain things are happening, but then to say, saying things are hoaxes or whatever, but then to say that they don't know what they are doing, no, that don't fly with me. I'm not trying to come down on Rob or anything. I'm just saying I've heard that type of statement before, they voted for him. They didn't know what he was doing. They know everything about this man. What are you talking about?
Let's keep this in mind, Nicole. Of course they know what they're doing. They control the damn economics in this. They control media. They control newspapers. They control the economics. They control the military. They control the horizontal. They control the vertical. They control everything in this society. Whenever a white person does something, they know what they're doing. They're in charge. They're in charge of society. They can be whatever they want. They can rob you. They can kill you. Look at what happened. The other white boy went in that school and shot up, And now they're trying to make him an after-school special, talking about, oh, he was a football player. Oh, he was upset because the girls didn't want to be dealing with him. The white boy got up in there, and I agree with True Bitter Truth about this. He said the white boys grow up with this mythology about Superman and Batman, and they believe that they are that, right? And they think that they can manifest it themselves growing up, and they go to school, and they ain't got that swagger, and then all of a sudden, the white girls are looking at the brothers. Okay.
Harvey Weinstein.
Exactly. And then he put
Harvey Weinstein. Because ain't nobody want his gargoyle looking ass.
Exactly.
And what I did when I did the video this morning, I was singing a little song or whatever, kind of funny, whatever. But that wasn't for y'all, really. That really wasn't for y'all. That was for the trolls.
Mm-hmm. What happened? Did she cut off? Okay, she's back on. Go right ahead, Nicole.
And the people who support him are going to end up reviewing.
Not just I'm talking about the
I think something's malfunctioning. Hello, are you there?
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you now. Little malfunction, but you know what that's all about. Whenever we talking truth, they messing with us.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead with what you're saying, sister.
Hello?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
We can hear you.
Yeah. My mom was trying to call me. I'm going to have to get off in a minute.
Okay, that's what happened. Okay.
Weinstein. So I'm waiting to see who is going to step up to support him,
mm-hmm.
or who is going to deny anything that these women have said.
Yes.
Those two groups of people, whenever these cases come up, I always look at who supports this person, this beast, and who is like, no, this has nothing to do with me, Those are the people that I look at. I start focusing on real heavy, real tight, as far as their business. Because he has business acumen, so he has a lot of connections with people. Because the rabbit hole just now starting to open up when it comes to him and anybody else around him that's been around him for decades, right?
Yeah. Yes, so I agree with you.
I got to get off soon.
Well, wait a minute. Before you get off, Nicole, let me give you a much celebrated clap, my sister. Here we go.
I didn't come in too, passionate.
That was for you. That was for you, sister. I loved it. Thank you. So I don't want to absorb this issue around Harvey Weinstein, but True Royal Queen, you said that you studied this case very seriously. Do you have anything else you want to add? Because I know you were about to say some things, and I want to get a taste of that. We need to get a taste of it.
I've been studying all kind of stuff real closely. I'll be all over the place.
Yes.
But I did do some deep studying about the actual incidents. This man is beyond gross. He even raped one woman while she was on her menstrual cycle, and he wanted to perform oral sex on her.
Oh God.
That's how he got down. That is a true ass.
That goes back to the other video I did about them being vampires.
Woo, girl.
I already knew about that with Harvey Weinstein, but I didn't come out and say it immediately.
Nicole.
I already knew that because they do that out here.
That's some nasty shit.
Make everybody in the chat room, everybody listening out there at iTunes. We got iHeartRadio, Archer, everybody that's listening to all the platforms, soon to be Google Play, and those that will be listening to this on the replay in these different platforms. Make sure you check out Nicole Ali on YouTube and subscribe. Take your black hands and subscribe to her YouTube channel and check out this particular video that she's talking about, the vampire. Now name the name of that particular video, Nicole.
It's cannibals, mummies, and vampires. The video is knowing your E.T. E.C. is critical. Your enemy, your environment, and your condition. That's what EC stands for.
Okay.
That's not my term. That's from the Jedi. This channel is awesome. The Jedi.
Oh yeah. Yo, I love the Jedi.
Revolution.
Oh yeah, I subscribe to the Jedi.
Yeah.
Jedi is great.
But yeah, they call it war paint when you do that. They call it and I learned that from a interview they had with some porn star. She talked about that out here. And they also call it sex magic. That's what it is. It's called sex magic.
Sex magic.
Ooh, you
that goes way back to Aleister Crowley.
Oh, wait till I start doing my sex videos. I'm gonna teach you.
Yeah, that's what I'm in. That's what I'm ready.
Oh, I can't wait. I'll take any tips that you have, Royal Queen.
I'm gonna kick the game up.
I want all the tips that you got. I'll be a student in that one.
I'm gonna keep it sweet.
All right, that sounds good to me.
Information because, like True Royal says, like we come with information because you have to be in a quiet space and you have to listen to the universe. You have to put yourself in. It almost sounds crazy, but you have to put yourself in a space where you just like it's completely dark. For me, it has to be completely dark. I feel like I'm like wrapping myself in melanin. I don't know. I just feel like I have to be in a complete dark area.
You're empathic, Queen. You're chosen. You're empathic and you are chosen.
And you have to be able to see things, like kind of predict before things will happen.
Yes.
And kind of figure out who are they connected with and all this kind of stuff. Because that connects to certain industries.
But see, also what's happening is our rims are locking up. And we are feeding off of each other and vibing off of each other. And we're giving this. That's how important we are to each other. Because I only been on YouTube 3 years, and in 3 years I done changed a whole bunch of the way I think, and it's because of the royal family.
Right. There are times where Information Man or Ayapo or you, I'll listen to your video, and then it's like before you say something, I'm like, I already like you about to say the word determined, and I'm like determined, and then you be like determined. I'm like, okay, what the hell? Like, I was like, what? And that was really, and it'd be like a word that you wouldn't normally expect to see or hear in that sentence. And I would hear it, and I even noticed a lot of our the way that we saying things or the way that we're presenting information is adjusting to one another. I'm noticing that.
Yes.
And that's really good. I really appreciate that.
Well, wait a minute. Before you leave, Nicole, let's move into this other topic. And,
I got time. She's all right.
The real Aaron Collins, unmute yourself, brother. I wanted to get your opinions on the young brother who plays for the Milwaukee Bucks. In Milwaukee, we all seen the. Let me play this audio just to give folks a little reminder of what took place with this brother out there in Milwaukee. Now, by the way, from my understanding about Milwaukee, it's always been a racist place, very racist.
I mean, you had the coon.
Yeah. I'm playing the audio, but you're exactly right. The coon, Sheriff, whatever his name, Sheriff Coon.
The black man over a routine parking violation turns violent in an instant. Milwaukee Bucks player Sterling Brown tased on the ground, surrounded by police officers, all in a matter of minutes. The incident caught on police body cameras. For many, this once again highlights the everyday dangers faced by black men in this country. The incident began in the early morning hours of January 26th. According to the police report, an officer from the Milwaukee Police Department was doing a business check at a Walgreens on the south side of Milwaukee. He then spotted a Mercedes parked horizontally across two handicapped spaces. In the officer's report, the driver of that car was Sterling Brown.
How you doing? You got a driver's license? Where's that? Where's your driver's license? Back up. You don't see the issue here? Hold on. You don't see the issue here. You're not parked across 3 lanes?
The officer then calls for backup.
Can't get another squad here.
According to the police report, the officer asks Brown repeatedly to step back, but Brown refuses, becoming, quote, very aggressive.
What's your name?
But in the body cam...
Now that's key. They're always defining black men as very aggressive. These are all the buzzwords that they use, folks. You've heard them all. And then you heard the young brother saying, hey, don't touch me, because they're always putting their hands on us. Their beast hands, always touching our royal bodies, as the Queen would say.
And video, Brown appears calm.
These are simple questions, man.
No, I'm answering.
These are simple questions, and you're being all badass to me, all right? These are legitimate questions, right?
I ain't got no problem with it.
Okay, well, you look at me like I got something growing out of my head, all right?
I'm just saying you touched me. That's the issue.
Right, because you got up in my face, okay?
I got up in your face.
Right.
Really?
I asked you to back up, and you did not do it. I asked you to back up, and you did not do it. You backed up about 3 inches. All right? Everything I'm doing is on camera, dude.
Then several law enforcement officers arrive on the scene.
I just wanted one.
Appearing to surprise even the initial officer.
So you need all these officers. This is what they do. This is their mode of operation. You get all these officers for one black man. Call a whole bunch of them. Call in the whole Klan, the Ku Klux Klan, that is. And for one black man who, like he said, you touched me. That was the problem. And if you see, as you can hear on the audio, and I'm sure a lot of you have seen the actual video to this audio, he didn't do anything. He didn't get up in that officer's face. He wasn't wailing his hands. He wasn't cussing at the officer, as you can see. The brother was mistreated because in America, we're in a prison damn system. And every time we walk out the door, you've heard me say this many times, we are subject to this mistreatment in this prison system under the system of white supremacy. As I always say, Neely Fuller Jr. talks about this in the compensatory concept that he has produced or he's come out with. And let me go on with the rest of this. This is a damn shame.
All I wanted was one extra.
The fact that so many showed up really speaks to the tone deafness of the officers on the scene, not realizing that their presence, in a way, it causes escalation. If you're going to take enforcement action on such a low-level crime like illegal parking, write the citation and be done with it.
Meanwhile, Brown is questioned by 2 other officers, the situation seemingly under control. But just a few minutes later, more officers are seen surrounding him. And then
this is what they do. It's like a lynching. Surround the black man. Go in for the kill. This is what they do. And I'll bet you a bunch of these officers, if not all of them, subscribe to the white supremacist ideology. Because remember, a lot of these white supremacists, these skinhead types, these Nazi types, a lot of them have infiltrated the institutions of this country. The police department, the military, the political scene. This is why Trump is in office, see? And they're executing this sort of supremacy upon our royal bodies, as the Queen would say.
in that police report, the officer writes that Brown, quote, physically resisted officers' attempts to handcuff him, and he was taken to the ground in a controlled manner. But the video appears to tell a very different story. Just seconds after asking Brown to take his hands out of his pockets, officers tackle him to the ground.
The report and the facts put in that arrest report don't support what we see on video, that Mr. Brown actually was just standing there complying as best he could.
The report also states, quote, a taser had to be employed to get Brown in control with handcuffs.
Taser, taser, taser!
Look at that. Look at what they're doing to him.
It boggles your
You hear
mind.
the screaming?
You wonder, how did we
Or
end
the,
up hands-on, physically grappling on the ground with Mr. Brown and then ultimately tasing him? And tasing someone for a low-level crime without any visual evidence of resistance is just not appropriate under any circumstance.
Brown is then arrested on possible misdemeanor charges of resisting or obstructing an officer. He was briefly jailed but never charged with any crime. 18 hours later, he would play in this game against the Brooklyn Nets. He could be seen during warm-ups with visible bruises and marks on his face.
Are you able to confirm if, the bruise and scab on the side of your face is from that incident?
I mean, like I said, it's an issue I'm dealing with right now. I mean, that's all I really want to say right now.
Brown's arrest would later become the subject of an internal investigation at the Milwaukee Police Department. Then Police Chief Ed Flynn launched a review into the officer's response.
What we want to do is ascertain how a parking ticket turned into a tasing.
Today, the new chief revealing the results of that review.
Our department conducted an investigation into the incident which revealed members acted inappropriately
and those members were recently disciplined.
Brown.
Now this is the Volvad estimate of that, folks. You notice, and I've listened to some of this. They never have told you what happened to these officers. Are they fired? Are these officers been moved to another police precinct? Are they on discipline with pay or without pay? And check this out, just like what happened in Ferguson, come to find out some of these officers were fired from other police departments and they just sort of shuffled themselves into another police department. That's the same thing that happened in Ferguson. You got these officers who have dirty records. And when they leave one police department, they go into another police department in a whole different district, a whole different jurisdiction, and they're able to once again be weaponized with their guns, their badges, to continue this onslaught upon our black royal bodies. Right. So these cops, I'm gonna stop right there.
I want to say something real quick.
Go ahead. I know you've been waiting. I know you've been waiting, sis. I know you've been waiting.
I send you an email.
Okay.
And it's a sister got a channel called Black Education TV.
Okay, let me look at my email right now.
And the title of this is former LAPD officer Cheryl Dorsey speaks on how the NBA players' parking violation leads to horror. Now, I listened to that video last night.
Yes.
And this sister, Cheryl Dorsey, very nice looking sister. She worked as she was a police officer in Los Angeles for 20 years, and she just giving up the goods straight up. She got a channel that she just started. She's got a book out. She's been on many speaking engagements.
Wait a minute. I'm familiar with this sister because she's in the race war. Let me play this race war clip for you, just a small piece of it.
She's in the race war
so you can,
documentary coming up.
Yeah, let me just play a small clip of that, just a small taste of what she says for y'all out there, just as a reminder. Thank you, True Royal Queen, for reminding me about this.
I was on the Los Angeles Police Department for 20 years. I was a sergeant of police when I retired. I'm well aware that there are officers within that agency that have biases and preconceived ideas. So no, I'm not surprised to know that somehow white supremacists have infiltrated the ranks of police departments around the nation.
Okay. I just wanted to give everybody a little taste of that based on what True Royal Queen is bringing up. And I just pulled up the sister's YouTube.
She brought out some real key. Now, this was on Black Education.
Okay.
But last night when I was doing my research, I found out that she had a channel because I do a lot of research.
Okay.
And she was really giving some good pointers on. She was talking about the reason why the shit went down, because that was the crew to do the dirt at night.
Yes.
Certain key words, get your hands out your pockets, get your hands out your pockets.
Yes.
All that type of shit like that. And I'm putting the link in there. I don't know if you want to play a little bit of it.
No. I want to. No. I'm gonna play. What I'm gonna do right now, because True Royal Family, True Queen, we're on the same page right now. I'm actually pulling up her video so that I can play this video clip. And let me just bring this up because you can relate to what I'm about to say, because we both, I've lived in the Bay Area, you live in the Bay Area. Remember the police in Oakland called the Riders. Black folks in Oakland for years were talking about how you had these group of 7 or 9 cops that were going around at night harassing black men, particularly black men that they knew were just out of prison, that were on, parole, and they were playing drugs on them.
One of them beat the shit out of one of my cousin's boyfriends.
Are you telling me the truth here? Is that a fact?
Yeah,
my God.
They beat that boy. He was blacker than black, and when I seen how they beat on that boy on his backside, it was.
My God, let me try to play some of this. I'm trying to.
There may be some of it you want to, you want to get right to the juicy parts where the sister is talking, because. You might not want to, because it's a 12-minute video. You might want to get to right where when the sister is really just talking about this, and we really need to. This is how we educating ourselves on how they get down.
Okay, let me see if I can bring it up, because let me see. I'm glad that you brought this up. I'm very glad.
Because she watches this stuff and break it down, and And I'll also put a link to her channel because she sit up and just watch all kind of police shit.
Let me see.
Confronted Brown used
Let me see here.
necessarily harsh, aggressive, and disrespectful tone. Research has shown that police often speak very differently to black motorists than they do to white motorists upon contact. That morning was no different. The officer's tone and the way he questioned Brown was snarky, aggressive, and seemed to beg for a similar response from Brown. The officer could be heard asking Brown questions that, in my police supervisor mind, were intended to escalate the situation, first verbally and ultimately physically. As a 20-year veteran sergeant of the Los Angeles Police Department, I have often managed and resolved similar conflicts during an officer-initiated traffic stop. As the professional on scene, the officer's job was to advise Brown of the reason for the encounter, issue Brown a traffic ticket at his discretion, and let Brown go about his business. So, for Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett to interfere otherwise is insulting and disingenuous. Sterling Brown nor any other citizen has the responsibility to defuse and de-escalate a police encounter situation. The officers on scene that morning were purportedly trained professionals, and an unruly, uncooperative detainee, not that Sterling Brown was either, is incoherent to police work and does not give any police officer license to assault under the color of authority. But the isolation, location, and early morning hours seemed almost too irresistible for this officer. So instead, this first officer requested additional units and continued to badger Brown as he awaited his backup. At one point, the officer can be heard when asked by Brown, "What are we doing?" The officer's response was, "We are waiting." This officer requested additional units, not because Brown presented a threat, not because Brown was being uncooperative, but because once the cavalry arrived, they were going to put in work police talk, for Brown was about to get his ass handed to him. The body cam showed Brown was compliant as the officer stalled and awaited the arrival of his backup units. As more and more responding units arrived, adrenaline and excitement no doubt began to rise. Most of the officers exited their patrol cars and took a position of advantage, circling Brown as they awaited the signal. Now Brown, surrounded and alone in a desolate, dark, wet parking lot, surely feared for his life. These officers were not there to protect, but they were there to serve. Suddenly, one of the responding officers could be heard yell, "Take your hands out of your pocket." Based on my years of experience on the LAPD, when an officer yells out some command like "stop kicking me," "don't move," or "take your hands out of your pocket," this is an akin to the starting gun being sounded at a track meeting. Like a pack of feral dogs, several of the officers, without provocation by Sterling Brown, swarmed him and began barking commands from every direction. Then taser, taser, taser. Of course, Brown was subsequently arrested for that thing that cops love to arrest a detainee for when they have nothing else: resisting, interfering. These are the go-to charges when officers put hands on someone and now they cannot just let that person go. The person must go to jail for something. Never mind that it will be a district attorney reject later. These officers on that night understood the process. It's the culture. It's condoned. It's the blue wall. Research indicates racial bias exists because it is acquiesced, condoned, and then minimized and mitigated. I know firsthand that some white officers yearn to work in those neighborhoods where black and brown folks are plentiful. On the LAPD, the code word for the neighborhood were busy divisions. I've heard many white officers gushing at the possibility of being assigned to a busy division in South Central Los Angeles. I also know firsthand that some white officers enjoyed working morning watch. That is generally after 10 p.m. Why? Because under the cover of darkness, these errant, overzealous officers can conduct themselves in a manner much like they did on January 26. It wasn't a coincidence that so many officers showed up for a mere alleged parking violator. My guess is that those officers on the scene at 2 a.m. were like-minded. We can surmise this to be true because not one of them stepped in and said, "That's enough."
Okay.
Yeah. Has been reported in what I term police code by the Chief Alfonso Morales that the involved officers were disciplined, whatever that means.
Okay, let me stop it right there. True Royal family, I love you for dropping this dime, this powerful video to my email to be able to present to the family. I really appreciate that. She made at the end the statement that she said about the discipline, whatever that is. And that's my point. Whatever that is, they didn't tell us. We don't even know what that discipline is. OK, and it's coming out that a lot of times these police officers have been booted out of other police departments and then they just slide over into another district somewhere. OK, she gave a great illustration, True Royal family. What do you have to say, sister? I just love that you dropped this powerful piece on us. True Royal family, are you there? Let me see. Did she mute herself? Oh, unmute yourself. Real Alan. I'm losing my train of thought right now. Brother Collins, unmute yourself, brother.
Hey, what's happening?
What's up, brother? The real Aaron Collins, brother. Thank you for being with us. I was trying to get the queen to say a few words because she dropped that jewel of a YouTube.
I'm here.
Oh, thank you.
You caught me sleeping.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, you're doing whatever you got to do at home while checking out the broadcast. But I want to get everybody. I want to get your opinion on what you just dropped. I want to get Aaron. I want to get Nicole. Lions Den, you've been patient. I want to get Oyapo.
Let me go last while I listen to everybody.
Okay, go ahead. Back on mute. Brother, real Aaron Collins.
This is actually my first time even hearing about that incident in Milwaukee with the player that you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, it does make sense. A lot of times the police will escalate the situation on purpose. And if they're saying on the news, because all I can hear is audio, but if they're saying on the news that the video shows that he was very compliant, the officers did justify it. And yeah, that is code language. They always say that the officers have been disciplined, but they don't say what kind of discipline. They want to lead everyone to believe that these officers have been disciplined. But see, when we tell people that we live in a constant state of police terrorism in the United States, everyone wants to laugh, including the coons, that think, oh, everything is okay, and it's not. And it's slowly but surely it's coming to pass, and they're being exposed. And I pray that more and more of them will rapidly be exposed and get more than just discipline. But yeah, I hope that he sues the living pants off of the individual officers as well as the city of Milwaukee.
Yes. Yeah. They chose the wrong brother to mess with that night. They probably thought that he was just some insignificant individual. Not that all of us we're not all insignificant. We are significant, but they messed with a black man that night who had resources. Okay, he's got resources to make this police department feel the pain. Now, this is what I'm also afraid of. I hope that young Sterling Brown does not do what those two brothers did in the incident at Starbucks, where they get on TV, they start getting into this apologetic type of mode where they start talking about, well, I really don't want to sue the police department. I just want them to apologize to me, and I want them to work with me to come up with some kind of program for the community. No.
I want to sue the hell out of them. I don't want to work with them. I want to sue them.
Exactly.
I want them fired from the department. I want them jailed.
Yes, they need to be fired from the department. They need to lose whatever benefits they're getting. He needs to sue the police department of Milwaukee, He needs to sue the damn state, the local every damn thing. He should sue the goddamn mayor's office because they're the ones that spend the money to train these bastards. So I just
the only work I want them to do is busting rocks up in the pen.
Exactly. Now, but you know how this whole story goes. The fact that the police chief does not want to let the public know what their discipline is tells you right there that there's some funny business going on. And as I had dropped earlier, some of these police officers, from the sources that I found out, have some history of being booted out of other police departments. Okay, and like the sister said on the audio, the way they surrounded him, the little buzzwords that they use, like True Royal Family said, they'll say things like "get your hands out of your pocket," and they always use this one, which is very classic. I saw him put his hands along his waistband. That's a code word for you might be reaching for a gun. So these are the buzzwords that these cops use. Now I don't know how many of you have looked at some of my other videos, but me and Lionsden did a video after that coon Stephan got shot here in Sacramento. And he should have never been shot the way he was shot. But in that video, I talked about there's something called when they go to court, they get these police off on these things about perception and flight or fight mode. When they shoot, they have a perception that starts to change around them where they can't hear. They block out sound. They have a tunnel vision. And that's the reason why they'll make mistakes like shoot people and stuff. The police have psychologists that will come in the court and will testify to this concept that I'm talking about. And damn it, I wish I had my document on me right now that they use to get these cops off. So I'm sure they're going to play that role with these police that their perception was off because they were somehow, when they go into a flight or fight mode, the nervous system will sort of react in a certain way, which will make the cops respond the way they did to this young man. They'll find a way to paint some good story for them. They'll find a way. That's my opinion about it.
Sometimes they don't even have to paint a good story like that because they have just like they have a brain typing that Professor Black Truth talks about.
Yes.
They have a brain typing for people they choose that they want to be their coons and pets, and they have a brain typing for people they want to choose to be police officers and firefighters.
You're right.
So they already have their background, their history of childhood. They bring that into the court. He had to deal with abuse as a child. He dealt with being neglected as a child. He dealt with abandonment issues as a child. Mm-hmm. They hire people that help them through the trial, not just their lawyer. Forget all that. We already know that. They hire nutritionists. They hire psychologists, psychiatrists. They hire neurologists to come in and do analysis on these cops. Because the money they put into their fraternity, it's a fraternal order.
Yes.
It's an occult, basically, and if you want to really break it down, it's an occult-based fraternity that they are in. It's a brotherhood. They probably have, as a brotherhood, there are some probably exchanges of fluids occurring, AKA blood or whatever they're going to do. But because this is not something that just started in the 60s and 70s. As we know, the police have grown out, sprouted out of the slave patrols, the paddy rollers.
Yes.
And during that time, during slavery, occult practices were hot then, just like they're hot now.
Right. Yes, that's right.
Because you don't need technology to practice your occult, your evil, practices. You don't need that. The video I had about the mummies and vampires, that was an occultic practice, right? You have people in the military still who practice these things. Right. The idea of people thinking, oh, it's just the lawyers and the judges. No, it goes deeper than that. When you have people show up in court, for instance, look at, he wasn't a cop, but Jeffrey Dahmer, when he showed up in court, he looked totally different. George Zimmerman, he showed up in court, he looked totally different.
Right.
They can give you pills and injections to make you gain weight, to make you look like a victim. They just throw some ragged glasses from CVS on you to make you look innocent, to make you look like a nerd. I'd never hit a dude with glasses. Mm-hmm. That's the idea we have in our mind, right? Yes. So when you see them, the media plays their role. That's the ministry of propaganda.
Yes,
that
yes,
works.
Yes, sister.
They use buzzwords. You're right. They use a lot of different buzzwords. And they also, when they use those words on tape, the officer, I think you were just playing, Cheryl.
Yes.
She was talking about certain words they use. They turn around, even with body cameras, they use the same words in court to flip around and defend themselves. And sometimes they don't even have to speak. They let all these other people speak for them.
Yes.
Body camera can speak for them, right?
That's right.
So they do all that. When they have the technology necessary to do what it is they're going to do, AKA kill us and destroy us, they use it to the utmost ability that they can. They lose tapes, right? We found about Laquan McDonald being killed on the street, shot all them many times, a year after it happened.
A year after it happened. You're absolutely right.
This happened in January because I was looking at the tape this morning when I was, doing the video for me, my own thing. And I'm like, wait a minute, they ain't got snow out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I went back and I was hoping people would like research, and see more and more. And people were emailing me like, yeah, this happened a while back. So we don't even know if that tape has been edited, cut, spliced.
Well,
you can splice videos so well that everything runs smoothly. You can Photoshop videos now.
Yeah. Well,
Adobe,
the mayor,
what is it? Premiere.
the mayor of, not to get too far off the beaten path, but the mayor of Chicago, who worked with Obama in the White House, if I'm not mistaken. Do you know that the reason why they held that tape for whatever number of days or months or whatever is because it was an election year. He was trying to get elected, and he knew that incident was going to paint bad on him. Okay, they held it for political reasons. And you're absolutely right. There's no telling
just like now
what they've done to doctor that tape. You're absolutely right. Or that video. Nobody says tape anymore. I'm sorry.
Just like now, the video, they have, this is what, midterm elections coming up. Like, we don't really care, but people who are less aware of what's happening, it would affect them.
Yes.
They would see him as the aggressor because they're saying he's aggressive. Everything and they taught this from a young age. I go back to what True Royal always says, and I really do think about this. And I'm like, because I observe them now. I just sit and observe them, sitting in the park. I watch how they interact with each other. And when they see you seeing them interact, they either try to hide what they're doing or they just kind of walk away because they kind of feel like you studying them. And you goddamn right I'm studying you. The females, they're the ones. I blame them a lot of the times because these men that are police officers, for whatever, or however they chose the job or were given the job, whatever.
Yes.
Their mothers, it all goes back to their home life. I've known police officers. One of them dead, actually. He was killed. But his mother was the worst heifer you ever done met in your life. I hope she dead now, too. But anyway, he was a horrible police officer. Not in the way you're thinking. He was a horrible police officer in her eyes because he would not arrest people.
Yes.
Because he would not do certain things. Because he followed the book. He followed the rules.
Yeah.
So, and she was always mad at him. You suck as an officer, blah, 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 all this stuff. I was like, wow. So, yeah, it is, I could go on and on, but I won't. But yeah, it was a good tape. I'm glad you played that or played that
and I want
audio.
to thank True Royal
He was
Family.
actually a good officer, Nicole. The guy that he was actually a good officer, but his mom wanted.
But to her, he was a bad officer.
Okay.
Well,
to his mother, to his wife, to a lot of people around him, they were like, he's the worst officer. Like, he can't do anything. He can't do anything right. That's what they always would say. And that messes somebody up. The number one reason why police officers die is suicide. It ain't black people out here killing them. They kill themselves.
That's right.
The guilt eats them up, or the fact that they're a good cop, but they don't speak out against the bad ones. That's the main thing.
They have something called the blue wall of silence.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
It's like a protected brotherhood. I once saw this video after, this was a couple years ago after Philandro Castillo and Alton Sterling were murdered. It was a black woman that got on there, and she was really going in on fellow police officers, and she was talking about how she's what they call a double minority. She's black first, and then she's a woman. So she has to deal with it from both of those ends. And I was really listening to her too. I'm like, yeah, she does have it. She does have an uncomfortable position, but she was actually trying to make a difference.
Yeah, she got reprimanded for that too.
You might be talking about the same sister that Cheryl Dorsey. I put her link into her channel and information, man. I just send you another email.
Okay.
I send you two.
Okay.
But don't go to get the first one. And that one is from Fox News, and that will. I want you. You have to read it because you're gonna be so disgusted by how they got disciplined for how they did this brother, and it's on Fox News.
Okay,
Fox News 6. That's what you'll see it on.
Okay, while I go look for this, Nicole, if you're still there, I'm going to be contacting you after this so that we can prepare for tomorrow. I think Lowcast wants to do something with us, so we'll figure out what that's going to be about in terms of topics and what have you. So I'll be contacting you. Lions Den, I know you've been patient, brother. Thank you. Lions Den. I want you to give me a few words about what we've been talking about before I go over to Oyapo, and do me a favor when you get a chance, give a little love to folks in the chat room as well.
Okay, I did a video about the Sterling Brown case, and to be honest with you, Info, is the way I see it is that he really didn't do nothing wrong. All the officers thinking that all he did was one mistake that Sterling Brown made was he was double parked at a convenience store, and normally happens, right? But it doesn't have the right to tase the man and put him to slam him to the ground. He doesn't have that right to. The officers have that right to do that to this man, to this brother, right? And so I'm so glad, Info, that he plans to file a civil rights lawsuit against Milwaukee PD and the city of Milwaukee. He's going, and then he's basically said that even though the police chief apologized to him, but that doesn't take him away from being assaulted by those police officers.
Yeah,
he's been basically assaulted by him.
Okay.
So I'm so glad that this brother Sterling Brown will finally say, you know what? Yeah, you apologize, but that's not enough for me. I will file. He said he will definitely file a civil rights lawsuit, and he's definitely going to do that because he's going to send a message that you cannot treat whether he's a basketball player or not. You don't treat anybody like this.
Okay,
go ahead.
Go ahead and bless some folks in the chat room with some shout outs to them, because I'm going to read some of what True Royal Family just sent me, and I'm very disgusted by what I'm reading. Very disgusting.
I knew it.
So bless the folks in the chat room, Lions Den, with some words of shout out, because they're out there and they're writing stuff. Read whatever you can see that they're saying too, brother.
Okay, shout out to Amelia Benton. She said that I honestly believe that the reason white males go into law enforcement is because it's giving them access to guns and they can kill with impunity. They're the weakest coward people on earth. Tara Judah Lioness says that they melt like the witch on the Wizard of Oz. Gwen B says that you write a ticket and ask him to move his car, only no physical contact required. Belize Renegade Rider says white face of terrorism. COG, basically the COG, which is conscious of genocide, says laugh out loud, keen wage. And also we got Dark Void says in the chat room, I remember that video. She lives here in Ohio. And that's basically it.
Okay, let me read this disgusting report. This is what these officers are going to get, folks. Let me read some of this. The discipline for the officers involved in the arrest of Sterling Brown is set forth below. One member with 11.5 years of service and 2 years as a police officer sergeant received a 15-day suspension and will have an employee improvement plan implemented for violation of core values 4.0 under the leadership referendum guidance of principles 4.0 for failure to be a role model for the professional police service. Okay, another officer, one member with 12 years of service and 1 year as a police sergeant received a 10-day suspension will have an employment improvement plan implemented, and they don't even tell you what the hell that employment plan implementation is going to be. No details to that, folks. For a violation of core values. Okay, for a violation of core values. What the hell are their core values? God damn it. Leadership. Okay, it's the same old repeated crap. 4.0 point. Okay, so this is white supremacy just recalibrating itself. One member with 2.5 years of service as an officer receives 2 days suspension. That member will receive additional remedial training and will have an employment improvement plan implemented for violation of this code of 5.00. And they don't even give you a damn detail on those codes. Okay, the 8th member will receive a police review regarding core values 1.00 competency reference guide principles of 1.0 and all this. Just all bovine estimate, it's all rhetoric what they got on this thing I'm reading here. Failing to cooperate with a citizen to ensure public safety and will receive a remedial training in Wisconsin Law Enforcement Standards Board professional communication. One of the members have been given the required Wisconsin state of 19,356 notice. The member's name will be released to those who have submitted public record requests. So check this out. You gotta submit a public record request for them to give the damn names. They won't give the names of these officers. They're protecting the white supremacy here, okay? But basically, in a nutshell, they're all getting what you would call something that would happen to you or at school. So if you were at school and you got into a little incident at your schoolhouse, oh, Johnny don't want to give back my toy, they give you a damn suspension. So these son of a you-know-whats are getting suspended for 10 days, 15 days, and then they're going to what they're calling their anger management training or their remedial training of how to be an officer. So basically, it's going to be bullshit. And basically, I can tell you right now, because I know this, because I've been around officers and I've been around correctional officers, when they go to this little block training, they're going to laugh to each other. They're going to chuckle and say, yeah, man, I got to go to this old bullshit training they got me going through. They're going to laugh and chuckle to themselves. Okay? So this is some bovine estimate bullshit that you got on the True Royal family has just sent me in terms of what their discipline's going to be for what these officers done to this man. They could have killed that man. Young Sterling Brown, the king that he is, could have been killed by these individuals. They surrounded him. They mistreated him, mishandled him. I hope that Sterling Brown sues them for every nickel, dime, penny, the damn teeth and the gold falling out of their damn mouths. This is some bullshit right here. What they're getting, they should be fired. They should be, I'm angry, True Royal Queen. I
want to ask something else. As you're having a live stream. Also, the catalyst behind this too is Sterling Brown's father used to be a police officer.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that until just a few minutes ago.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was going to bring that up. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And the plot thickens.
It gets thicker and thicker. But you know what? You provided us the information that we needed, True Royal family.
Information is power.
Most definitely. You supplied us just the juice that we needed. But everybody listening out there in YouTube,
I just want to say something to everyone in the panel, Information Man chat. I just want to say, God has a way of turning things around to where they would turn on each other. I was just thinking about something, how he had the enemies of someone. I think it's I forget which biblical figure, might have been Christ himself. How the enemies somehow turned on each other and started killing each other.
Yeah.
And I believe something like this will happen.
Well,
and you know what? I don't wish death on people, but you know what? It is what it is, and whatever happens, happens.
But they already,
I just don't care.
Yeah, they already do turn each other. The fact that it's just that the media, the white media, doesn't tell you about all the white-on-white crime that goes on across this country. Remember those white boys in Waco, Texas, the biker gang? They had an okay. They had an okay corral. They were shooting at each other. And do you know to this day that none of them are in prison right now? They all eventually got released on their own concoctions. Okay, so the white boys are killing each other already. They're killing, the wives are killing the husbands are killing the wives. Hell, all you got to do is turn on the investigative channel on cable, and the majority of the stories on that program is reenactments of white folks killing each other. Rich white folks, poor white folks.
All damn day he watch him, and I said that ain't nothing but white on white crime. That's all it is. And you know what one of the number one killings was for a long time with white folks? They was giving each other antifreeze, and then they had to start putting something in there that, you know, like very bitter tasting.
Yes.
Because it was odorless, it was tasteless, and it does a horror on your body. And I found out that they kill each other for money. We kill each other for love.
Yeah, that was those bikers. That was the Hells Angels and some other groups.
No, you remember the other dudes? Remember the other dudes that occupied that government land and nothing happened to them? Remember that? I think they did it a couple of times. Nothing happened to them.
That's right. But let's maintain this narrative here. White people do commit white on white crime. Most people who live in close quarters to each other tend to commit crime on each other. Now, I live close to the Sacramento area. We have Asian gangs out here, and guess what? Asian gangs, they prey on the Asian community, and they also they do home invasion in Sacramento because...
I'm so happy you mentioned that, because I've been telling people about that.
Oh, yeah, that's what it's a lot in the Bay Area. I understand it's a lot of Chinese triads and stuff
and what they do is they do home invasion because they know that the older generation traditionally will keep money at home, okay? So that's one of the reasons why they'll do home invasion. But they don't. But the bottom line is, when it comes to black people, they try to make violence that it's pathological for us, that it's a part of our DNA. White folks are killing each other. So when you say they turn on each other, it's happening. It's just that the media, which is controlled by them, don't paint that narrative. Okay. But every time you turn around, you hear about Jeffrey Dahmer types eating people. Now, I have too. Now I'm in the prison environment during the week. The majority, because I see the records, the majority of black men that are in prison in California and even across this country, a majority of them are not in prison because they murdered someone, shot someone. A lot of the time it's because they were selling drugs like marijuana, cocaine, and they maybe absconded and violated their parole because they had drugs on their person. Usually that's what has happened to black men, and then they get the chumped up charges, and then they're in prison. And then they tell me and you on the streets that black people like to kill each other, when in fact, get away from that narrative. It ain't necessarily true. The statistics that I've seen do not hold up. The cases that I've read do not hold up. Yes, there are some that are in there for murder, but there are a hell of a lot of brothers in there that they were in there for these drug sales or possession. And remember, Bill Clinton put that damn strikes law into place, or he put that powder cocaine versus crack cocaine law in, which affected the urban communities, and the white boys get off. But the same thing. And in New York, when they did the stop and frisk, they found out statistically that most of the black men that they stopped had no guns or drugs on them, but the majority of the ones that were walking around New York with guns and drugs were the white boys. The white boys, cavemen.
Right.
Oh, Yapo, you've been patient, brother. You have anything you want to add?
Yeah, I wanted to go back to the standing down thing. First off, I want to say, and this is something we already know, white people stay on code, and they speak in code. And the greatest code that they used was during Trump's campaign when they were saying, "Make America Great Again." That was a pure code. And what that code stood for was like back in the days of Jim Crow, when they had black people, if you were walking around, you were a vagrant. If you were standing still, you were loitering. In other words, they put these laws in place that the police could come and get you just basically for existing. And they also had it so that our men and women would still be lynched, and the police would come and pick us up and jail us, right? And now they want to go back to that. They want to go back to the time because if you remember when I say remember, you probably read about it if you weren't alive back then. But back in the days of Jim Crow, if a white person come walking down the sidewalk, a black person had to stand to the side.
Oh, you're so right about that, brother. Oh my God.
And when these cops stop you, stop a black person, it's a win-win for them, because either you have to acquiesce to them, and feed into that power, which is the equivalent of standing to the side of the sidewalk, or if you resist them, then they'll beat the crap out of you. So either way, as soon as they stop you, they got a win-win for their own, for their ego. Also, you have people like Barbecue Becky, right, who uses the cops, because that's what these white people do. They use these cops as their strong arm men. And what happened with Sterling Brown was what that chick was expecting to happen when the cops got there to that barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
And they know that every time they call the police, they're expecting a scene like that. They're expecting
and that ain't the first time she did that shit.
And it's not the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So that whole thing just plays into this, this whole, make America great. It means make America Jim Crow again. They built this freaking lynching monument. And I guarantee that freaking, I almost swore, lynching monument is nothing but a white boy's wet dream.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you, they go home and masturbate thinking about that freaking memorial.
Mm-hmm.
When I first heard about that lynching monument, I could not believe, because actually a long time ago in Lawrence, South Carolina, they had actually a Klan museum. It was a white dude who ironically drove his van through it to destroy it, because he was like, at that time, he was like, we need to work on coming together. A white boy did this. So, yeah, their own do turn in on them. And as quiet as it's kept, I thought it was this, but even Hispanics don't stick together as much as I thought they did, because particularly here, like in LA, you have MS-13, and their biggest rivals are 18th Street, and they smoke each other all day, every day.
Well, like I said, brother, when I did the gangs in LA, the Latino gangs in LA are killing black folks. You have the Northern Hispanics, which are up here where we are in the Bay Area, and then the Southerners, the Serranos, as they call them. They don't like each other. They were once united, and then they don't like each other. The MS-13 came about because when a lot of people came over from Central America, they were being picked on by the 18th Street gang. So then they formed their own gang, and they don't like each other. But then guess what? They all fall under one order and conduct of the Mexican mafia. So even though they don't like each other, the Mexican mafia holds sway over them, which is why I told you in that video that there's a green light on black folks, particularly in Los Angeles, Southern California. And I know it straight. I get this information firsthand. There's a green light. That's why they're trying to kill black folks in Los Angeles, trying to get you out of certain areas, out of Long Beach, get you out of certain parts of South Central. They want Watts. They want all of that because they believe in Mexico that this part of California belongs to Mexico. Okay. Now I don't want to get too far off the beaten path.
You know the history of MS-13. Actually, they weren't always called MS-13. They were once known when they started. They were actually founded in L.A. They were known as the Mara Salvatrucha Stoners.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them here.
Yeah.
They were known as the Stoners. Then they got involved with the Mexican mafia, whose number is 13 because the letter M is the 13th letter of the alphabet.
Yeah.
Because they believe that it's better for business, even though the MS-13 are Central Americans. And it's a known documented fact that Mexicans and Central Americans really don't like each other.
Yes.
But they decided to work together, and then that's how they adopted the name MS-13.
Yeah, but it was once people were getting arrested and they were put into the American prison system. See, the American prison system creates monsters, and you all know that. Once they were put into the American prison system, that's really how they got their connection to the Mexican mafia. And once they started deporting these men back to their native land, that's really what caused MS-13 to spread, because they brought that gang culture back there. And then if you notice the MS-13, they chop your body up. They do all, because these were individuals that grew up seeing war-torn country, right? So this is, and just keep in mind, black folks, we have no friends. I'm sorry. I mean, you can talk all this DACA stuff all you want. I'm sorry. Dismiss me with all of that. We have no friends. Asians don't like us. The Latinos don't really care for us. When we're killed and mistreated, you don't see their organizations having press conferences and saying, we're tired of what's happening to black folks in America by these white cops. You don't see them. You'll see a few sprinkle of people of other races that maybe have grown up in our communities, like in places like Oakland, that may come out to a protest and have something to say, but you don't see their organizations going hard for us wholesale. Because why? They have a code in which they only are concerned about themselves. Black people, one of our biggest problems is that we're so damn concerned about everyone because we're so spiritual, and spirituality is important, but our spirituality can also work against us because we so loving and so open to everyone, but everyone pisses on us and then leaves us holding the bag. Oyapo, you have anything that you want to add, brother? Because before I get ready to end this broadcast and this program, I wanted to at least bring up the shooting that took place in Indiana and get your opinion on it too. If you choose, go ahead, brother.
I wanted to ask you and True Royal family a question, because you know I'm on the East Coast.
Okay.
When it comes to these different areas and these different depressed areas, how are they working the gentrification in those areas in tandem with what's going on over there?
You saying how they're working? Are you talking about white people?
Right. How are the white people working the gentrification at the same time as there's other things going on in the depressed areas?
Oh, well.
Are they just encroaching in on it?
I'll tell you exactly. This is how it goes down. And I've said this, and I said it's a two-tier system that they work. You see, nobody ain't mentioned the two-tier system but me. And I noticed it because I sit back and observe. And what they do is they'll move in these goth type of white people that, they wear black fingernail polish and they into goth and punk rock music, and they'll first penetrate the neighborhoods. That's like a break-in. Okay. Then they will kick them out. Then the next tier comes in is the white folks that's going to be there. And and what they'll usually do, now the goth people that move in, they'll get like the warehouses, they'll fence it up, barbed wire it up. You see them go in and out. You don't see them too often. But then when that second tier come in, when you see Becky running down the street with her dog before the sun come up, because that's how dumb her ass is, you know that there is gentrification in the neighborhood. When you see her running with her dog in the neighborhood and stuff.
And you start seeing Starbucks, and you start seeing all these little construction programs, projects. That's when you know that. And then another thing that's very significant is it happened in Brooklyn, New York. Whenever you start seeing banks, I think there was a Bank of America or whatever was built there. Whenever you start seeing banking centers or banking institutions in your neighborhood, big ones coming in, you're finished. That's the sign too that you're done. They're gonna do Negro removal on you.
Yeah, and it's the kind, and you know what they'll do? They'll take like a strip mall and revamp it, and they'll put in businesses that don't even pertain to us. It's like, then they'll put some old goofy shit, something in there like, go eat some bagels and shit. We don't want no damn bagels. I'm overall. I'm just saying overall. You got to look at the type of businesses they put in there, because they'll make businesses conducive to the things that they like. See, like I grew up in white neighborhoods, so I know the game. Like when I lived in Alameda for 16 years, and they put up a Trader Joe's, and then white folks go in there and they never fill up the basket and spend damn near $200 and walk out with two bags. Because I'm being different. Okay. I'm being, fuck you. You just call you. Where's the Dollar Tree at? I go to the Dollar Tree, man. I still go to the Dollar Tree.
Hey, I like Dollar Tree.
They did the same thing. They did the same thing here because there was an area called High Street, and what they did was at first they moved the goths in, and then the artists started edging them out, and now that entire area is called the Art District, and they turned it into a district, and they have like the little outdoor cafes and the little hoity-toity, play the food and pay $30 for it and all this different stuff. And yeah, that's exactly the way they did it, two-tier, just like you said.
Yeah, I pay real close attention to it because I've always grew up around them. I grew up in the Haight-Ashbury. I always been around nasty-ass white folks. I know how to get, I'm not impressed with them. See, we moved into Haight-Ashbury in 1968, and I didn't move out of the Haight-Ashbury until the 90s. So I know them very well. And stuff. That's why my oldest son that y'all hear have the attitude that he have, because he knows them very well too. He knows how they get down.
Interesting.
But I want to say something real quick.
Go ahead, Queen.
I thank you very much for letting me be on there. I have missed Keith Newsom for the last 3 nights. He's been kicking my ass, but I wanted to pay you the utmost respect and be on here as long as possible. I've been on here 3 hours.
Oh, okay. Is he on right now, or I thought he was coming on Saturday night?
He's on.
Okay, then I'm gonna.
But the big show is tomorrow.
Okay. Well, I do plan. I'm gonna go over there and check him out because I was planning to kind of wind this down right now. But I just want to before everybody leaves so that we can support Brother Keith. Everybody in the chat room, take your black behinds to Keith Newsom's channel and support him. The brother is kicking mad science, as we say. Give me, in short, because we know this ain't going to stop happening, your opinion on the next caveman who just did the shooting not too long ago. And we know this ain't going to stop, but just give us everybody just give you a nice little opinion about it before we put an end to this.
Black people. I mean, I did a video about this last year. We are literally big game to them. We are big game. These police officers have a big game hunting mentality, and we're the next trophy.
Okay.
We're pieces to them.
Okay. All right, brother. But right now, and I agree with everything you're saying, Brother Collins. Right now, what is your opinion in short before because I'm going to have to end this. My broadcast is going to be ending soon, but what is your opinions about what happened in Indiana? I'm sorry, Indiana in particular. Any words to that?
Once again, I don't know too many of the details of it. I have heard there was a shooting. I'm not sure on the specific details.
Lions Den, can you give us a little taste of what's going on with that? Because I think you've been following it.
Yes. Here's what happened. Earlier this morning, 2 people has been critical condition. There's been a sign when a guy came to the Noblesville in middle school, which is in Noblesville, Indiana, and the suspect is in custody. Students heard several gunshots. One hit a teacher, and the other hit a 13-year-old child. Now, a science teacher was the one tackled that shooter to the ground. Now, the football coach, another person, he's trying to get all the students out of the classroom. He's been shot multiple times by saving the students out. But at the end of the day, the 13-year-old, and the teacher is in stable condition, and the 13-year-old is still in critical condition because of the shooting in Noblesville, Indiana.
Okay, and didn't you say that there's some? Did you get or maybe you already said it already? You got the update too, right? That's part of the update.
Yeah, the update. The update is that the science teacher became a hero, tackling the shooter. If it wasn't for that substitute, the science teacher,
yes,
there'll be more bodies. There'll be more bodies on the ground.
Okay,
not just 2.
Okay. Lions Den, stay with me because I need you to give everybody love in the chat room before we get ready to end this and play our ending music. Yapo, you have anything you want to add, brother, about that shooting?
The reason that this isn't going to stop is for the same reason that they're not going to be able to kick these opioids. Is just like the old saying goes, the first step to solve the problem is admitting that you have one. And white people will not admit that they have a problem. They don't want to admit who and what they are and what their nature is. So as long as they continue to live in this fantasy of what they are, then there's just really no out for them. We don't even need to do anything to them. We just need to move out of their way. But there's no out for them because they're caught up in this fantasy of who and what they are.
Yes.
Therefore, they won't tend to the issues that are besieging their people. So it is what it is. It is what it is. And it's not going to stop.
Okay. Thank you, Brother Oyapo. Oyapo, I still want to do a live stream with you and get brothers on. Since we got real Aaron Collins here in Lions Den, we want to get brothers together to address more issues around the lynching that's been going on. So we want to address that a little bit further, get more deep into that. So that's something that we should think about if we can do tomorrow. I don't know if who's got streams happening tomorrow, but we'll try to see what we can squeeze in this weekend to get a little taste on this issue, or put our thoughts together about this issue, because it's a serious thing. We don't want to undervalue that. With that said, everybody, we're gonna end this. Lions Den, can you give everybody in the chat room a little bit of love? Everybody who's listening to our program.
Yes, sir. I'm giving a shout out on Austin Dreams, Belize, Renee Ryder, King Wage, COG, Conscious of Genocide. And by the way, before I continue, COG made a song info dedicated to us. He made a rap song. He made a rap song to us dedicated.
Oh man, we gotta hear that, brother.
Everybody else. So yeah, I believe he's on his YouTube channel. I definitely want to give you the I guess you got to go on his YouTube channel, but the boy is off the hook.
Okay, so I got to get that link. We got to get that link. Go ahead with the rest of the shout out.
But we'll continue that. Jack Johnson, again, M. Mitch, Gwen B. Let's see here, Donna Thrilling Stories, M. Mitch, Avery Hodge. And that's basically and also Arthur Judas Linus. I'm going to go ahead. And S. Wiseman. I'm going to continue go up.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that's up in there too. There's a lot of them. Let's roll it up. Let me see.
Get out of here.
Yeah, let me roll this up.
Bobby Bowman, the handy fan with, and basically that's about it. But
okay, brother. Real Aaron Collins, brother. I want to thank you for being with us. I want to thank Oyapo for being with us. I want to let everybody know that this is going to be also podcast out. We were trying to go on live and we were having some technical difficulties. So that's why it took so long. And I appreciate everybody hanging in there with us. So as a result, I wasn't able to go live on my radio program, but I was able to podcast it. And it will be podcast to speaker.com, which on there I'm under Information Man Show. It will be podcast over to iHeart Podcasting. It's all under Information Man Show, Archer, under iTunes, Google Play, and it may be something else. Spotify. So we're on all the different platforms that you'll be able to find, depending on if you got a Droid phone or an iPhone, you'll be able to find this actual audio. And I might just go ahead and send this audio to everybody when I get a chance to put it on, add some other finishing pieces to it. So I want to thank everybody for being with me in Lions Den. You guys are the best. Real Aaron Collins, we're going to do this again, brother. I did check out your video that you did, and you always on point with the things that you say, brother. And I really appreciate that. So everybody in the chat room, thank you. If I didn't say anybody's name, make sure you subscribe to each other. I want to give a shout out to my man Gabe Talk Media out there. Gab Talk Media if you're out there. Lowcast if you're out there. I want to give a shout out to Keith Newsom if you're listening to us, brother. I want to give a shout out to the Mr. Research if you're listening to us, brother. Searching for Uhuru. I still got to do a live stream with you. Anybody and everybody in YouTube that's listening to this, thank you for being a part of this broadcast. We tried a different format tonight because I decided to go on the radio program, and I'll be doing this every now and then, broadcasting this to the radio. And this radio broadcast will get to people all over the world, and there are a lot of black folks that will be listening to this broadcast. Okay, just to let y'all know out there. So I have some following on that level. So thank you, Lions Den. You got any last words before I hit the music, brother?
Yeah, I got a lot of last words. I'd like to thank everybody that listened to our show tonight. Keep supporting us, and we will return the favor. And I would like to give shout outs and peace to all my brothers and sisters out there that keep fighting for us. And don't give up the fight, and together we will win.
All right.
I'm out.
Thank you. Here you go. A clap for everybody.
Truth, power, truth, to power. Wait a minute. We're speaking truth to power. Truth. Myself, information, and lions.